got buried under plot. Listen, they redlined our dreams, chalked out lines on schemes, gentrified the hood, sold the soul for some gleam. Mama boiled rice water, stretched into a feast, while the city wrote us off like a blight in the east. Barbershop sermons, front porch wisdom, dope boys turned reels, tales told from the system. Cousin caught a charge, judged through the book with pride, but the banks launder billions, ain't no cuffs on that side. Tenement blues, cold winters, we adjusted. Single mothers, war ready, never once busted. Survival ain't luck, it's divine math and grit. We black alchemists, turn pain into a gift. Out the ashes we speak, out the silence we feel. They bury the truth, but we rise and still. We the roots in the field, we the sound that don't yield. Through the fire and smoke, every scar's a seal. Yeah, I seen brilliance in the dark, eyes shine like truth. Little girls jump rope, echo joy on the stoop. Fathers locked up, but they names still ring.
Come on up in here, let's get started.
Just morphs with the swing. My uncle taught chess in the crack spot zone. Said life's about position, watch your queen and get prone. The school failed us early, taught lies as facts, but we read between lines, black history intact. They ain't fund our futures, just flooded with coke. Then blamed us for drowning, man, that shit ain't no joke. But still we rise like the morning after. Laugh through the pain, black joy is a master. Out the ashes we speak, out the silence we feel. They bury the truth, but we rise still. We the roots in the field.
What's up, Pastor?
We the sound that don't yield. Through the fire and smoke, every scar is a seal. I ain't here for your pity, I'm built for rebirth. Phoenix from the gutter, I define self-worth. My grandmother marched with a Bible and blade. Cook love and cast iron, sang pain that state. We inherit trauma, but we flip that script. From block parties to ballads, watch us uplift. Neglect was the soil, now look what we sold.
Come on up in here, man, get them lights up. Them lights up, we about to get started, we about to talk about it.
Every lyrical brick in the house of change. So
what's good with you, brother?
Raise your fist to the sky. Black excellence eternal, no lie, we gon' fly.
We out here standing on business, preaching the truth, man. This is my corner right here. I gotta jog some of y'all memory, man. Yeah, the fire is small. Every star is a field. Come on. Come on up in here, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Still building. Come on up in here, hit that like button. We're gonna change it up. Give y'all a chance to come on up in here. That like button, come on.
Freedom ain't always free. They say Lincoln freed the slaves, that's the tale in school. But the Emancipation Proclamation had a hidden rule. Only freedom in the South, not the border states.
The border states.
Move, not love, it was fueled by hate.
Come on, family. Y'all forgot. Y'all forgot about this one. I know y'all did. A lot of y'all don't even know about this one right here. We're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about the Negro silent protest parade of 1917. We're gonna get into it.
So we celebrate the late news, not the dream. Change never vanished, they just changed names.
Change never vanished.
13 said no slaves, but you do time. Prisons blew up,
enslaved by design.
Power was given, then swiftly revoked. They built us a castle, then watched it roll, still we rise. But the cost unseen, this ain't just history.
This is our bloodstream.
Destruction promised 40 acres, hope renewed. Freedmen's Bureau tried, but got overruled.
Shout out to Dr. No Job. Come on, Dr. No Job. We bringing up history now. We doing a deep dive today. Get them likes up, man. When we get to 10K, I'll bring people up, and we're gonna talk about it today.
Economic sabotage, bombs dropped in silence. They fed them with the black violence. Bread compliance, told us to pull up boots with laces they stole. Then blamed us for poverty, it's cold. Chains never vanished, they just changed names. Paper set free, but they rigged the game. 13 said no slaves, let's do time. Prisons blew up, new slaves by design. Power was given, then swiftly revoked. They built us a castle, then watched city roads till we rise. But the cost unseen, this ain't just memory, this is our bloodstream. Mass incarceration, the new plantation field. Private profits rise while our fate gets sealed.
Come on, y'all, we about to get into it.
Caged men who barely eat. Meanwhile, hedge funds dance on Wall Street. Black codes reborn and stopped and frisked. One wrong move, your life's at risk. Reagan dropped crack, then Clinton threw the key. Obama spoke hope, but didn't set us free. Reconstruction 2.0, nah, it's still a game. They switched the mask, but the rules remain. But we the true speakers, children of fire. Our past ain't shame, it's a voice that inspires. Chains never vanished, they just changed names. People said free, but they rigged the game.
13 said no slaves, let you do time.
Prisons blew up,
New slaves by design.
power was given, then
Swiftly revoked.
they built us a castle.
And watch city roads till we rise.
But the cost unseen, this ain't just history.
This is our bloodstream. Come on. All right, y'all. We about to get into it. Sons of the Stolen. Come on. About to get into it, y'all. How's everybody doing today? Get them likes up, man. We gotta get them likes up, man. We gotta do better than that, man. I know I'll be switching my times. Did one in the evening, doing one in the morning. But you know, we're gonna talk about something that I haven't heard talked about. We must have forgot. We are really them. You understand what I'm saying? They must have forgot that we've been putting in work from slavery and early 18th, 19th century. They must have forgot, coming out of Reconstruction, the things that we've done. They must have forgot how dignified. Imagine this. You come out of slavery and you're dignified. They must have forgot. They must have forgot. We are them. How dignified our people were throughout history. They tried. They have managed to put a stain on Black Americans, right? But they forgot that our ancestors were dignified people. They forgot. They forgot how strong and how together we were coming out of slavery, family. They forgot how country bumpkin, how degenerate they were. See, it's like they just switched. They put their degeneracy on us, but they forgot how dignified and how powerful and how together we were coming out of slavery, family. They forgot. They forgot. And some of y'all forgot. So y'all need to be reminded again who we are. Who we come from. We come from good stock, family. We come from inventors, scientists, biochemists, laborers, hard-working people. Our roots run deep into this earth, into this soil. Our sweat equity, our blood, our tears are here on this land. And they want to make y'all to be some Africans. A lot of y'all want to be African. Shame on you. Shame on you for not accepting your birthright. Shame on you for wanting to sell your birthright for a mere parcel of bread. Shame on you who want to give up all this dignified black history for some African history that don't even belong to you. And this is no denigration of Africans. Your history ain't our history. Your ancestors ain't our ancestors. Shame on y'all who want to give up all this dignified glory. We come from them. Listen, family, we are them. Nobody in history has done what we have done. They try to minimize it. They try to minimize it. But we really them. Look at this, family. Look at how dignified we were. Look at how in sync we were. Look at how together we were. We had the dominant society afraid of our togetherness, afraid of the power of us. Family, you got to understand, man. We are really them. We are really them. I don't know what it is. Listen, man. Listen. Y'all got to understand and y'all got to know how powerful our people are. They forgot about the Negro silent protest of 1917. Let me set the stage for y'all, man. America was going through a Great Depression. Americans were, the dominant society was upset. And they needed someone to take it out on. What's good, crypto? They needed someone to take it out on. When it comes to success, we were the picture of success. No other group of people came out of such a terrible condition so strong, so powerful, and so unified. We dominated the South, family. We dominated. Every industry we touched, we dominated. It was gold when we touched it. It crumbled in their hands, but it was gold when we touched it. Do you understand, family? We are really them. We dominated. We were so strong. We were so powerful that they had to rob and loot and snatch and take our Freedmen's Bank from us. We had millions of dollars, family. Our families was generating millions of dollars back in the early 1900s. Hey, history don't lie, sir. You could be a hater in the comments all you want, but the truth is the truth. Just because you don't know, just because, I'm not even gonna say you don't know because you know. You're that weak. You're that weak that you gotta spin the lie because you're part of it. You're probably Irish. You're probably a red native. You're probably you're low level YT. You're Ellis Island. You're the degenerates that came over wanting to take from hardworking, foundational Black Americans at that time. Your heroes are all degenerates, all of them. All your heroes are degenerates. But we got real heroes. We got people that really stood on business out here. Really stood 10 toes down. Really stood 10 toes down. Really made a difference. Y'all forgot about the silent protest of 1917. Y'all forgot about when the men dressed up in black and the women and children dressed up in white. One of the first major protests in this country. What were we protesting, family? What were we protesting, family? Anybody know what we were protesting back then? This was during Jim Crow era. Jim Crow era, family. Dignified black Americans with jobs, with economy, with business. Dignified. Talking about the early 20th century during Jim Crow era. There was a pinching just replace the P with the L, family. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I gotta use TikTok friendly words. The pinching epidemic. Thousands of black Americans were pinched between 1880 and 1930. They were that's right, they were protesting the pinching. The mass unaliving that they were doing to women, children, men, the looting, yes. The looting and pillaging of foundational black Americans. They said enough is enough. The East St. Louis riots kicked it off. One of the horrific race riots in U.S. history. YT mobs attacked black workers' family, leaving over 100 black unalive. This is their history. This is the stuff they don't want to talk about today. They don't want to talk about how they come from degenerate people. Degenerate people that do degenerate things. Women. Listen, they're so low level, they attack women and children, family. Unalive them. Unalive them. Unalive them. And look at this dude in the comments. It's crazy, right? It's crazy that he's proud of his ancestors. He's proud of the degeneracy that comes from his bloodline. He's proud of the potato-eating famine. You know, Black Daddy had to come and rescue him. Black Daddy that built America, they were upset because we had the jobs. Woodrow Wilson made promises to us, family. Promises to our ancestors that just wasn't getting through. What were we denied? We were denied legal protection. We had employment, but our employment, but listen, when we went to work, they attacked us at work. They attacked us at work. Look at, man, listen, man. And they want to claim to be Christian, family. He said he sure is proud of his degenerate ancestors. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. They proud of their degenerate ancestors. And they claim to be Christian, family. They claim to be Christian. They claim to be Christian. Yeah, you do. Your family did. Back in the day, your family did. Your family did it all in the name of Christianity. We know they were devils, though. We know they were devils. We know you a devil. We know that. We know you're Lucifer himself, Lucifer incarnate. We know where your soul is going. We know. You might as well live it up as long as you can. I get it. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad. That's right. Hell them. We know. We know. We know who you are, sir. We don't gotta, we ain't gonna lie about it. We know who you are. I ain't even gonna block you. I'm gonna let you be a degenerate in the comments. Stay a degenerate. That's right. We know. We know where you spawned from. Okay? I just, The more you act up, the more our people wake up. So that's why I leave you in the comments. I want you to be yourself, man. This is Trump America. Be yourself. Be yourself. I want you to be who you are. I don't want you to feel ashamed. No, I want you to feel proud of your degenerate ancestors. Proud of your degenerate bloodline. Proud of your degenerate people. I want you to be proud. No, Trump is your daddy. That's right. He's emboldened you. So I'm happy. I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I'm happy that you can finally be yourself without being censored. I'm not for any type of censorship. No. I want you to be who you really are. I want you to stand on business. But me, my family, dignified people. My dad, dignified. I come from good stock. I come from good stock, sir. I got heroes in my bloodline. Real people that stood on business, that spoke truth to power. But your family tree is full of PDF files, incestuous, grape, violins. That's where you come from. Y'all got to get the likes up to 10K. If y'all want to get up on the platform and chop up some game, y'all got to get the likes up to 10K. We can't do nothing till you get the likes up to 10K. Get the likes up to 10K, and I'll start bringing people up. Your family tree is full of degenerates, full of mother on brother, father on daughter. That's your family tree. It's full of buck breaking. That's what it's full of. It's full of y'all loving on each other, keeping it in the family. That's y'all motto, keep it in the family. Because y'all don't want nobody to know how degenerate you are, so you do it to your family first. We know. Listen, man. One thing about foundational Black Americans, we know y'all better than you know yourself. We were there. We were there. We were there when y'all slave masters was doing all this horrific thing. We were there. Yeah, they do that beastie, that beast on, that man on beast. Oh, they love that. They love that man. They love that cow. They love that sheep. They love that pig. Oh yeah, we know. We know about y'all, sir. Because we really them. See, that's why y'all wanna keep us down, because we know too many of y'all secrets. Epstein files, we know. We don't need to see the Epstein list. We know who's on that damn list. We know. We know y'all some degenerates. We know. And TikTok, this is only for entertainment purposes only. Only for entertainment purpose and education. And education. But we know. We really come from good stock. These are the people we come from right here. Dignified Black Americans. Dignified Black Americans. I must be entertaining because you still in my life. You ain't left with your wet dog scent. Your wet dog scent, you haven't left yet. We can still smell you in the comments. We can smell you in the comments. That's why you're here. That's why you're in my life. See, it's like the movie Sinners. When the real foundational Black Americans speak out, our very soul, our very energy attracts y'all up in here. You understand? See, we got this beautiful scent that everybody loves. And when y'all smell it, y'all come. And y'all covet it. And y'all want what we got. You want this energy that I got. You want it so bad. You want it so bad. But you can't get it. You love our music. That's why you try to steal it and make it your own. You love our women. You love everything about us. You want to be us, but you can't. So you have to try to destroy us. You have to try to keep us down. Your women imitate our women, and you're mad. Your women want us, and you're mad. They want the soul pole. Yes, they do. They love this beautiful copper colored skin, this bronze. They love us. That's why y'all don't want us in your neighborhood. Because y'all know if we in your neighborhood and our kids start playing with each other, guess who they gonna want to marry? We don't even gotta use a weapon to destroy y'all. We just gotta live in y'all neighborhood. And by default, your whole race gets wiped out. Look at what happened in Italy and Spain. Look at what the Moors did. The Moors wreaked havoc up in Europe. That's why y'all so mad. That's why we don't even like the Moors. We don't even like the Moors. We don't even like them. They treacherous people anyway. They should have never saved y'all. They should have never brought y'all here to America, to my land. They should have never did that. The Moors got breeded out. They became Moroccans and Arabs and all those other things that, that's what they became. But y'all became a mulatto race, a mixed race. And then y'all want to reap havoc on the true original man, which is us, my people. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. But we gonna speak truth to power over here. We not ashamed of nothing. And if this live happens to get banana, so be it. Cause we gonna talk today, family. I don't talk to wet dog sense. Wet dog scent, I can't do it today. Not today. Not barnyard boogies. Y'all some barnyard boogies, man. Y'all get it in the barn, don't y'all? I don't really talk to barnyard boogies. I don't really, we ain't got nothing in common. I'm gonna let y'all stay in the comments and hate. Haters, you need something to hate on. You need to see greatness. See, when you see greatness, you can't help but to hate. You can't help. But let's get back to it, family. Black Americans were denied legal protection from the pinch mobs. Employment opportunity without the violence or the intimidation. Fair treatment in public spaces and governance. They were denied this. The U.S. government, led by Woodrow Wilson, ignored promises to support civil rights. And these people got indignant. And back then, the NAACP, I guess they really was real. The NAACP ain't shit now. They ain't worth a... They done got infiltrated by tethers. Tethers that made it about them and took away from what the NAACP was really meant to do. But back then, the NAACP under James Weldon Johnson, Reverend Hutchinson C. Bishop, and Dr. Charles D. Martin, they said, hey, enough is enough. Dignified black men. The location was 5th Avenue, New York City. 5th Avenue in New York City. This is where it went down at, family. 10,000 black men, women, and children stood on business. They weren't yelling. They had no weapons. They just had a unity. They were unified, dignified black American men, women, and children. They were on code. See, when they try to say we not together, we not on code, we don't have no power. We got to remind you that, yeah, we don't got no power, but we sure did do a lot. We sure did do a lot. We sure did do a lot. They marched in silence, family. They didn't even say a word. They understood symbolism back there. They wanted to symbolize the voicelessness Black American experience. They wanted to symbolize how they didn't have a voice in their own country. So they marched silently. They protested with no words, family. But they had banners and signs. Signs like, give us a chance to live. Thou shalt not unalive. Mother, do pinchers go to heaven? Replace the P with an L. Do pinchers go to heaven? Powerful words. Powerful words. Powerful words. At the height of the Great Depression in this country, this is another proof that shows how hateful, how evil these people were. Evil. And they're still evil. They just spawned their evil children. Not all of them, but we know that racism still exists in 2025, don't we? We know that, right? Yeah, we know that. We know that these evil people had evil children, and they still here today. We know that. We know that. We don't gotta lie about it. We don't gotta pretend, family. We don't gotta pretend. Listen. One thing we're not gonna do is we're not gonna pretend in here, family. We're gonna tell the truth. These people are still alive. Their sons and daughters eating off of the wealth that we generated for them. These corporations are still here, family. Corporations are still here, family. Still here. Still here, family. The slave catchers are still here, family. They just became police officers. They still here. They still here, family. They still here. They're still here even in the comments because, again, when the real step up, when we speak, when our energy enters the room, we attract all manners of evil, family, because they can't stand the innocence. They can't stand the goodness. They can't stand the righteous. This is how you know who the righteous ones are, family. We are the righteous. They are the devils. It just is what it is. We were born this way. We were born with this goodness in our heart, this acceptance in our heart. We never did anything. Listen, we ain't put nobody enslaved. We ain't unalive nobody's people. We ain't left our country to go WAR with any other country. We didn't do none of that to them. None of that. But they did it to us. To the people who did nothing to them, they did it to us. Africans can't even say that, family. Do you know that? That's why they hate, that's why some of them, not all of them, some of them hate us too. Because they're guilty also. They're just like the colonizer. I don't separate them. They're no different. They're no different. A lot of our African brothers and sisters, some of them are good, but let's keep it a buck. They do it to their own. They enslave their own people over there. That's what they do, family. We never did that. We got the moral high ground. We got the moral authority to speak truth to power because we're not them. Hispanics, y'all the same. Y'all nothing but colonized. Y'all conquistadors. Let's keep it a buck. Red natives, y'all were slave catchers. Come on, y'all stabbed us in the back too. We never stabbed y'all in the back. Anything we ever done to y'all, it was strictly because of retaliation from what you did to us. If we came after you, it was because you came after us first. If we wronged you, it's because you wronged us first. We don't just go after you just to go after you. We don't do that. All you lying Haitians down there talking about black Americans were bullying y'all and getting on y'all. Y'all better get at your brothers in the Caribbeans who are pretending to be us, who are doing that to y'all. Y'all better get on your fellow Puerto Ricans. It wasn't us. We don't go bother people. We don't do, that's not in our nature. That's not in our blood to just go bother you. We don't do that. We're the righteous ones on this earth. We're the ones with the real heroes. We're the ones that really stand on business. We're the ones that if we help you, we do it with out of the kindness of our heart. Our grandmothers fed neighborhoods and never asked for a dime. You can't say that. If you do anything for anybody, you're right there with your hand out, asking for something in return. We do it without knowing you ain't never gonna pay us back. We lend you the money knowing you ain't gonna give us the money back. Y'all get the likes up to 10K, man, and I'll start bringing people up. Get the likes up to 10K. But we gonna talk about it, family. We just here. We gonna talk about it, man. Y'all forgot about the silent protest of 1917. Y'all forgot. Y'all forgot. Y'all forgot. One of the first mass civil rights protest march in American history. Let me give y'all some, I'm going to see if I can give y'all some pictures here because let me show you this type of signs that we had. Let me show y'all the type of signs that we had. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can read this. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to switch it to this right here. And I'm going to do it like this. Yeah, let's do it like that. Look at that, family. I don't know if y'all can read that. Can y'all read that? Over 1 million farmers. Over 30,000 carpenters. Over 30,000 clergymen. 12,000 brick and stone masons, 30,000 teachers, 3,000 physicians. We owned over 250,000 farms with 20 million acres of land worth how much? 500 million. We have church property worth 76 million. Look at that. That's what we had coming out of freaking slavery. That we had to... Listen, nobody gave us that. We didn't get our 40 acres and a mule. We had to work and get that. We had to work. Listen, family, this is what they don't want to tell you the wealth that we generated on our own. Talking about pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. We did it on our own, family. Yeah, to disrespect black Americans is crazy work. To disrespect the righteous ones on this earth, the true meek on this earth. Understand, we don't even have, listen. See, they want us to have revenge in our heart, but we're just not built that way. But not that we're not going to be avenged now, because the Most High, the ancestors, they're going to get their get back, they lick back. And a lot of us are changing. Like, you know what? We're just tired because we know the cycle. We played out. Everything's been turned. You know, a lot of us are getting that Rodney Hinton Jr. spirit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are starting to wake up and be like, you know what? We just not gonna let these people keep doing this to us, and there'll be no consequence. A lot of us are even saying, forget the consequences now. You want to send me to where? So what? If this what I got, we are like, it's reaching up here, family. It's reaching up here. But this is us, family, coming out of slavery. 1 million farmers, 30,000 carpenters, 30,000 clergymen, 12,000 brick and masons. I'm trying to keep it clear. 30,000 teachers, 3,000 physicians, 250,000 farms with 20 million acres of land worth over $500 million. Church property worth $76 million. Fam, this is us. This is us. But hold on. I got some more for you, man. Hold on. Just want to give y'all some more visuals real quick, family. We were powerful people. We still are. We still are. See, this is what you tethers couldn't do. Y'all couldn't stand on business and do this. Not that y'all couldn't do it. Y'all could have done it, but y'all didn't do it. You made your children weak. See, our ancestors made us stronger. Your ancestors made you weaker because now you became fleers. Now y'all fleers. See, our ancestors actually stood on business. As early as 1917, during the height of Jim Crow. See, when things happen to us, we don't flee. We stand on business. This is our history right here, family. This is our history right here, family. This is our history, family. Negro silent protest. This is our history, family, coming out of slavery. This is our history, family. We really them. We really them. We really them. Everybody else, they're the real pretendians or the pretenders. For all these $5 FBAs running around here, We really them. You see how we attract all these degenerate YT people coming up in here in the comments? Those are the vampires, family. Those are the vampires. They know greatness. They know who the real great ones are. They know if we were ever to be erased or unalived in America or wiped off this earth, there would be no earth. There would be no new inventions. What we are the secret sauce in America, period. Our heart, we got the heart of gold. Nobody else got the heart like Black Americans. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. Nobody comes from the stock. Who comes from the stock that we come from? Who comes from who comes from the earth? Who are really the salt of the earth, family? Who are really the chosen ones? Let's just keep it a buck, man. Black is beautiful. Black is excellence. And we proved it over and over and over again. No matter what they try to put on us, they try to speak on us, the propaganda they try to inject us with, the witchcraft they try to put us under, it don't work on us like it do on everybody else. Enough of us is awake. Enough of us is going to stand on business. Enough of us is going to speak the truth. Family, we don't have no allies, and we don't need no help. We don't have no allies, and we don't need no help. You know why? Because we got our ancestors. Our ancestors are still here, family. They ain't left us. Our ancestors are still here. The dignified Black Americans are still here. The dignified people are still here. And they're all we need. They are all we need. We are the sons and the daughters of great people, of greatness, of inventors, of scientists, of builders, of engineers, of infrastructure. We are that's where we come from. We come from greatness. They come from degeneracy. See, you know what they try to do, family? When they want to put Black Americans down, they want to mention Africa because they know Africa hasn't built nothing. No disrespect to the Africans, man, but y'all gotta start doing something, because that's what they do to try to hurt us, and it don't even hurt us because we're not Africans. They always gotta mention a dilapidated village, a place with no power, no water, no infrastructure, because they didn't want to build nothing. And they try to project that on us. That's why they want us to be African American so bad. So they can put us down when they want to. They can say, this is where you guys come from. You guys come from these dilapidated villages. This third world mess. That's what they want to say. But we can look back in history within the last 100, 200, 300 years, and we can see nothing but greatness. Nothing but willpower. Nothing but strength. Nothing but divinity runs in our veins. We see inventors. We see scientists. We see builders in our family tree. We built a whole country that everybody wants to come to and enjoy. But when they want to put us down, when they ain't got nothing better to say because we're so great, we're so strong, we're so powerful, they want to bring up Africa. They want to bring up Africa. That's why we challenge our African brothers and sisters. That's why we challenge y'all and be like, man, what have y'all built? What have you built since you came to America? What have you built? What have you built in your homeland? What have you built? Because if you can't tell us what you built here, if you can't tell us what you built there, how are you going to wag your finger and call any black American lazy? How are you going to believe the white people when they lie to you and tell us we ain't never built nothing? How you going to believe the white tea people when they tell you that we nothing but thugs and criminals? How you going to believe that? See, because what we know and what we hear and what we've seen nothing but scams come up out of that land. Not all Africans, I'm not denigrating all, but we know a lot of West Africans, y'all do them scam diplomas. What have y'all built when y'all came to America? What have you built? What have you invented? We got whole genres of music. We got a whole culture. Don't ever say we don't got culture. We come from the real ones. We're descendants of the real ones. We ascended slavery, and we are descendants of the real ones. I can't spell it out any better than that. I really can't. Plenty Africans have built. Well, please explain to us. What have you built? I want to hear about minerals. I don't want to hear about minerals. I don't want to hear about minerals. I don't want to hear about minerals. You can't build a mineral. Minerals come from the earth. What have you built? What have you built with your mineral? Let's go there. What have you built with your minerals? Transcended, ascended. We ascended and transcended, sir. We did both. That's how awesome we are. We're amazing. We're that amazing. We're above it all. We're above it all, Tony. We're above it all. Nothing, they can't stop us. They can only hope to contain us. We're really them. They are not like us. They are not like us. We're built different. We're built different. We are built different. All right, if y'all want to come up, y'all can request up. Let's have the conversation, man. Let's talk to some of the peoples, man. Y'all go ahead and request up, and I'll bring you up. It's no problem. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything more I can say, man. We really them. We really them. Now I want to hear from the family, man. I want to hear from the family. What's up, Tisha?
Good morning. I hope you can hear me. I came up on the wrong phone. Can you hear me on this phone?
A little bit. Can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
A little bit better. A little bit better. Go ahead, though.
I should have come up on a different phone. Let me just see here. Man. What I was gonna say, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is, one thing about it that everybody from the continent has to remember is the reason we have to have these kind of conversations is because how we are talked about incorrectly, and how a lot of them join in on those conversations. I'm pulling up now. Let me just close this out. I'm trying to pull up this other
Yeah, I hear
phone.
your
Hold on a second.
background. I'm like, what's that in the background? What's going
I'm
on?
trying to pull myself up on another phone. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Well, I'll go ahead and talk since you said you can hear me. So what I want to say is they just have to remember that they would never get this thrashing and this roasting, and really all it is just facts. All we're doing is asking questions, because you have a right to question anybody that questions where we came from, tells us we don't have any culture, mentions only the negative and not the negative is 10%, and not the other 90%. They always say there's 57 million of us. Black people don't turn in the census. Very few of us ever turn in that census. We know better. So while they're saying there's 57 million of us, white people know there's probably good 110 million of us, actually, because we
Yeah,
don't turn
man,
in.
we are the biggest. Listen, if we break us down by ethnic groups and we go not by white or black, but by ethnic group, foundational Black American is the largest ethnic population in the United States, and that's a
Right,
fact.
right. I want you to keep talking because I'm going to pull up by another phone real quick here.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. So I wanna ask the audience something, man. Do you guys believe in peaceful protests like the silent parade? Do you believe protests like that still work today? Do y'all believe that?
Okay, I'm coming up on another phone. I'm going to come up here.
Okay, no problem. Come on up. Bring up Monique here.
Good day.
How you doing, Monique?
I'm well, and yourself?
I can't complain. I can't complain.
I hear you. Well, protesting loudly doesn't even work. So silent protest, no, it is. You know what? What
It doesn't
works
work
is
today. Hold on, I
is
can barely hear you. Go ahead.
what works today is not telling them your plan and operating behind the scenes.
Okay. Okay. I'm with that strategy. You know,
Exactly.
but I'll say this: it's pretty hard to work behind the scenes when they dominate all areas of activity right now. You can't talk on the phone because they got access to that. We would have to go underground, literally underground, for them not to know what we're doing, and they got eyes on us walking in, going underground, so they know where we're going underground at. With AI technology, satellites out there, they've done a pretty good job of dominating the globe. They've done a pretty good job. So I would love to see how we can really move in silence like that and get things done. I think at this point, it's to the point where we just gotta we just gonna have to stand, and we gonna have to trust that the Most High, the ancestors, and our very sheer willpower, our very sheer strength is going to keep us at this point, because what until we start creating the system that I keep telling everybody that we need to create, we have to create a system that's not connected in any way to their system. And when we create this system, we have to keep them out. We cannot even allow one of them to get in. I don't care how friendly, how nice they are. We got to say, go play in your system, but we built this for us. And we got to dominate all areas of activity in that system that we built. We have to create a system that our people can go to, can migrate to. A system where we give ourselves our own business loans. A system where we have money to do our own lobbying. A system that is separate from the system of oppression. We have to build that. And we have to admit that a lot of us are stubborn. A lot of us have been hurt and traumatized so much that we can't trust no more. That we can't. A lot of us are to the point where we just ready to crash out. That's our only thing. We like, listen, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory, and that's how it's gonna be. And we need some of us to still have that mentality, but we need enough of us to say, you know what? My strength is in building infrastructure. My strength is in building this system. My strength is in building this for our people, so our people can have something to come to that doesn't belong to them. As long as we keep operating in their system, where can we hide? Where can we hide? Where can we strategize? They got think tanks that dominate us on a regular basis. All they do is just, the Negroes are doing this, let's co-opt it.
I mean, I understand and I feel, but there are spaces and places. The problem is, and I say this all the time, is with us networking. Not being crabs in a barrel and networking outside of the common systems like this here, like the book face. But that's what people are on, and that's how we reach each other. So, only so far though. 6 degrees of separation is about as good as we get.
I would like to say something quickly because I'm going to have to go, if you don't mind. I want to say a couple of things. One thing we need to get away from, and no one has said that on here, is always saying that Black people don't work together and Black people won't invest in each other and all that stuff. The problem is you're hanging around 2 or 3 people or somebody in your family that you talk to, and they don't want to do what you want. We have so many different issues coming at us on a regular basis. You try to do something, you gotta. Most of the time, what people want to see is someone has already done it. They want to jump in after you're a billionaire. And can you help me get, rather than, and so one thing I can't stand to hear is Black people don't work together. We do. But as we work and get to a point where people will listen to us, there's always somebody with a certificate and a badge coming in to shut us down. It happened to many, many people that I work with in the Midwest with my own business. And they used to call me all the time. The state used to call me all the time and ask me, when am I going to shut my business down? And they did everything they could. They even set up different laws. I had a learning academy / daycare. They set up different laws where, they did something where they were testing it out to see if our people would send their kids at a very early age, as early as infants, to school rather than to daycare, and then switched it where now schools can accept kids under the age 5 just to hurt the daycare providers. And then as far as all of these convenience stores, as far as how they can get 5, 7, 10, 20 convenience stores. Some of these people have 400 gas stations and across the country in our communities. I know that because of another type of business I was in. I used to have to make the phone calls to sell the POS systems. They don't shut them down. You go into some of these places, they don't wipe the it's dirty on the inside, dirty on the outside. I remember purchasing a candy bar somewhere, going through a city I used to live in, and I bit into it and it tasted like a rock. It was a Snicker. And I turned around and looked at the back of the paper. The candy bar was 1 year old. It was still on the shelf. I think it was either a Snicker or a Milky Way. They don't shut them down. They don't have to work together. They just have to not look like us. Then I heard somebody on another chat. I'm going to say some things very quickly. And he was LGBTQ, and he was talking about his husband. And he said that his husband had just moved into the country a very short period ago. And as soon as he came in the country, he went into a bank and got a loan for 5 gas stations. They gave it to him, no questions asked. Then there was somebody else talking about how they had tried to buy this building and they gave it to these Asian people who had just moved into the country, hadn't been there very long at all, went to the bank and got the loan. And then they sued and won. They won because they had done that. And when they applied for it, they actually had 70% of the money down and still wouldn't give them the loan. So we have to address the real things that's coming against us. Then you got to think about the housing industry. Back in the 1990s, our people sued because a couple went into a bank to apply for a loan. They were standing in a long line talking to this white tea group. And they kept, after a while, they left. They kept calling. They never heard back from the bank. And then they came back to the bank one day, and that same YT group was there. And they asked them, well, did you get your loan? They said, yeah. They asked them what their credit. They had less credit score, less money, less everything, and got their loan. So this couple went and sued. When they sued, it became big news, and all the banks, I think it was across Chicago, excuse me, all the banks started going back like 60, 70 years with 3 or 4 people, 10 people on the panel saying, well, why did you deny this loan? Well, and they had to go over and over and look and try to, well, why did you deny it? Well, don't you think it should be approved? They got afraid because that bank got exposed, and all the banks were doing that to our people. So when we go out and apply for businesses, for grants and for loans, and I could go on and on about that, but I want to address something else real quickly. When we go out and apply for loans, that's what we address. That's what we face regarding business loans, regarding anything. It's not that our people don't want to work together. It's not that so many of our people are in crabs in a basket. It's about the system is in a crabs in a basket when it comes to us versus people of color versus anybody else. We want to have businesses. We want to have nail shops.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why do we keep trying to build it? Why do we keep going back to this system that keeps rejecting us? Why don't we?
Because no one has figured out a way to change this thing around. I do have idea.
No,
I'm not going to say.
That's not true. We have figured out a way. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the way right now, and I stand on this on every line. Blockchain technology is the way.
Okay, I don't know anything about that.
That's why you got to do your research. Every Black American needs to do their research on blockchain technology because that's the only way out of this system.
Is that something that we're doing as a group?
That's something that we can own. Matter of fact, we have our own cryptocurrency. If y'all go to 𝗣𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗀𝗵𝘁 we're in the building of the liquidity pool right now, but it's phenomenal. It's going to provide our people loans. It's going to provide lobbying. It's going to provide emergency relief. It's going to provide everything we've been denied from in this system. Blockchain
FBA
is a decentralized system that is fully transparent, that is backed up by integrity because everything is. Listen, if I give you $1, you don't know where that dollar came from. You just know I gave it to you, but you don't know who had it before me. If on the blockchain, because blockchain is a decentralized ledger, it tells you where it was made, where it was printed, who touched it first, and who touched it last. You know everything about where this money or where this coin or where this digital currency came from in its inception. We need a system that has true integrity. This system doesn't have integrity like that, but blockchain technology is true integrity. That's why everybody needs to do their research and understand what blockchain technology is. And understand, I'm not talking about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a byproduct of blockchain technology, but blockchain technology is everything that we need to build on. I'm talking about smart contracts. I'm talking about ways to pass down wealth, ways to pass down properties, and nobody can change it or touch it or do anything to it. Nobody can ban you from it. We're trying to put social media platforms on the blockchain that we own, that we control. So there is a solution. It's called blockchain technology, and everybody.
Let me finish that statement.
Need to do their research on that.
Okay, and let me finish this. I need to add to this. Nobody has figured. I'll say no one has figured it out until now. And I will look into blockchain technology. I just heard about something coming across my page no more than a day or two, and I screenshotted it, and it's probably the same thing. It's not so much that we don't need to do research. We need to know about it, because if we know about it, I'm going to jump on it.
We could listen. If you want to collapse time frames, right? If you want to get back general wealth that our family has lost and missed out on, and catch up to the dominant society, blockchain is the way to do it.
And I believe that. Give me the name again. I'm going to put it in the chat so I can screenshot it.
𝗣𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝗀𝗵𝘁. Just go to 𝗣𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝗵𝘁 and start doing your due diligence researching. Go on YouTube and start saying what is the blockchain.
You believe I'm a researcher, so I will definitely do this. Let me say this real quick. .org. I want to speak to this person in the chat real quick that said, drop her. She doesn't. We need to stop referring to ourselves as POC. You need to listen, whoever that was, sir, ma'am. What I said is they will give the money to the POC. I don't refer to black people as POC. POC is everybody but black people.
Come on.
The next thing I want to say quickly is I'm kind of sleepy. So what I really should have been saying, if I didn't say that, is we didn't figure it out until now. Now that I know about that, but what I was going to say in addition to that is we have some. What I don't like is how if somebody
Coin,
mentioned.
coin.org.
I'm
Maybe
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry. I'll do it again. If I just type it in for me because I'm laying down,
Yeah, no problem.
and I don't have my glasses on. But what I want to say quickly is because I don't want to take up too much more time. Um, if there's a certain organization that we have and you have some problem because this, that, and the other with black people or the church or whatever, you got to have therapy and you don't want to miss out and you don't want to um, discourage everybody because you had a bad time. In Atlanta, Jamal Bryant, I believe he needs security because of the different things that he's saying and doing. But once they put that Target, they put the strike against Target, and Target crashed by 12.5 billion dollars. They also put up a website, and 300,000, I think they said 300,000 businesses or 300,000 people signed up to do business with us, with black people, and start supporting our companies. So that is a good start. I have an idea, but I don't want to put it out here because I know what's going to happen the
Well, let
moment
me
I do.
let me say this real quick because that whole Target thing, we've been misled right behind that, and I want to let my people know. Did y'all know that Target funded the Essence Fest? Did y'all know the CEO of Target, excuse me, the CEO of the Essence Fest used to work for Target? Do y'all know that whole thing wasn't about Black Americans in Target? It was about DI is for immigrants, for them, the non FBAs. Do y'all know about that? Do y'all know that they listen, man? They have been doing a number. The Democratic Party has been doing a number on us, and we just been accepting it. And it's time we push back against some of the narratives and some of the things that they're saying. We should listen. If they are not FBA, we don't listen to them, family. If it's a Caribbean lady, if it's a African lady, if it's a Caribbean man, we don't listen to them because they're not for us. What they want is not necessarily what we want. We seen the Essence Fest debacle. We seen how they treat our ancestors and how they treat our black-owned businesses. How they come in and buy it and then make it jollof rice. We can't do that anymore, family. We can't allow that anymore, family. We can't be dragged in by skin folk. We
I
can't
hope
be
you
moved
realize
by
that.
color.
I hope you realize that. First of all, I used to work for Target corporate headquarters, and I know just how racist they actually are.
I
And when I
believe it,
go,
but that's not our. That's not. I'm saying we can't allow other people to change what we're doing to their agenda, and
I don't think
that's
one
what
has to
happened.
do with the other. I don't see how they're connected. Can you tell me how they're connected?
Okay,
Because
the lady for the CEO of Essence Fest is a Kenyan woman.
I know about that. I know they
Who
bought Essence.
also was high up in Target.
Hmm.
She's the one that actually started the boycott. She's the one that called for the boycott, fam. She's the one. And now she's the CEO of Essence Fest. And guess what happened? Target is the one that donated and sponsored the Essence Fest. That's not us anymore. That's them. They took over Essence Fest and it now belongs to Africans, to non FBAs. It's not black culture anymore. They didn't honor Frankie Beverly. They did nothing that honored black culture at the Essence Fest. It was a total debacle. And then they said it with their chest. She got on, she did a whole speech about it. About how Essence Fest is now theirs. It's owned by a scamming dude from Liberia. He bought it. And he's known for scamming. See, you got to understand how they use non-FBA. They put non-FBA in power and make them the first black. Why? Because they can control them. So a lot of people listen, man. y'all got to plug into the grassroots media because this is what we talk about. If y'all are not plugged into the grassroots media, 𝗤𝗏𝗏 Nasheed, Professor Black Truth, Torian Reigns, Afro Elite. I mean, these guys are standing on business, and they're telling you exactly what's going on, things that you may not know about. We got gatekeepers.
So why are you saying don't worry about striking on target? Because I know all about Essence. I know what they did. I canceled Essence 20 years ago when they sold Essence magazine.
They sold it.
Yeah, I know that. But when I brought up the fact that we're done with Target, you said that's false.
Target is not our not our fight. That's somebody else's fight.
Okay, you said it's not our fight. Okay, all right. So anyway, the good thing that came out of that was 300,000 people signed up to just do business with us. That's basically what I want to say. I don't want to take up any more time other than to say that the points that you brought up, when people get mad and start calling us xenophobic and all this other stuff, the truth of the matter is you all have to look at the fact that you're literally the ones that are xenophobic that causes us to reply. You don't like the replies. You don't like the fact that we're saying all those things we said yesterday, 50,000 patents. You're on the cell phone because of us, GPS system, first car because of us. When we do things, we touch the globe. We also, my granddad was one of those people that built a school on his farm of 200 acres of land, and all the kids around the city, black kids, were able to go to school. But what I want to say is they're always denying us reparations. And this is how great we are. As you were saying, that we come from great people. Our people, I just found out, I just said this to you, but I'm talking to the chat, just said this to you last night, our ancestors built 5,000 schools by the early 1900s, just coming out of being enslaved. They never gave them anything. They didn't give them the 40 acres and a mule. And we still built 5,000 schools. And so the host has a right to ask you, what are you all doing as you're telling us, all this other stuff you're always saying about our people? We have stats after stat, documentation after documentation. Where is yours? And I'll land there.
That's it. Where is your proof that you built anything while you wagging your finger at us? When you're talking about families and you guys come from the highest fraternity frauds. I mean, listen. Our families may not look like your families, but we got them. And we come from strong families. Our ancestors had strong families. So when you come wagging that little finger, want to be critical of Black Americans, you need to make sure your homeland is in good condition. Jay White, go ahead, Jay White.
Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, well, the only thing I can say, sir, is this past Sunday I turned 85 years old. So I would just like to say we as a race of people have stood the test of time, because every time we as a race of people try to start, they try to come along and destroy everything that we try to build up. So we going, like you say, we're gonna have to come up with a different strategy, because they know that we are powerful, and they're gonna do everything that they possibly can to make sure that we don't take the power that we got and take that and take over from them. So we just have to come up with a different strategy than what we've been doing before, because like I say, we can stand the test of time, because we've already proven that. So
I'm telling you, the best strategies we could do, family, is we all got to do our research and understand what blockchain technology is. That's our way out of the matrix. Go back and watch the movie Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger and just put yourself in that picture. Put a foundational Black American as Dennis Quaid. Put yourself in Arnold Schwarzenegger's role and understand that you're having a total recall, and that the information inside of you can free us all up out of this system. Understand that the keys to the kingdom are within you. And the government wants to put you back to sleep. The government wants to call you African American. The government wants to put you in a box. The government wants to make sure you're powerless because they know the true power that you have inside you. We are truly righteous people on this earth, and they know it. They want to put dirt on your name. They want to put stereotypes on you. They want to pass their sins on to you. You are the scapegoat. You understand? You are the one that they lay hands on, and they want to pass their sins on and make themselves forget about their sins and say they're righteous. You are the scapegoat. We can no longer be their scapegoat, family.
Yeah, well, you know, they can slow us down, but they can't stop us.
They can't stop. Right? They can't stop us. They can only hope to contain us, because we are really him. Let me hear from Bob. What's up, Bob? Where you been at, brother?
Too much. Welcome, brother. Thank you for having me, man.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome, brother.
You know what's going on.
Oh man, yeah, I do. Talk to me though, man. What you got to add to the conversation?
You know, I'm about to play advocate for a little bit.
Okay.
You know, the OG has a really valid point. And you know me, as well as yourself, being on your lives and, you know, a couple of my lives that we didn't have this discussion about, you know, things like that, along with the blockchain, obviously. But too much, I'm realizing, man, that we don't want to do the work, brother. A lot of us, we just don't want to do that work, right? Like in OG's time, like a lot of the celebrities, you know, athletes, you know, they would sacrifice their careers, their fortunes and stuff like that in order to step out with their people and fight for, you know, our humanity, our survival, et cetera, et cetera. Example, Dick Gregory, the great comedian. You see what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali, great fighter.
Yes.
Right? These guys were willing to sacrifice their careers, their fortunes, their money, their fame. They were willing to relinquish all of that in order to stand behind their people. You understand? Sacrifice themselves.
You know why that is, though, right? You know why that is, though, right?
But here's my point to that. That does not matter. What matters is the fact that they understood the common goal, regardless of where they were in life. You understand? They already knew that it doesn't matter where I am within the system and in the structure. I'm always going to be this. And I'm not going to deter that because they're giving me, you know, a few benefits and a few toys and et cetera, right? I can drop that stuff, right? And come back to my people, because regardless of what I'm doing for them, I'm always going to be this. So I'll let that go, come back home, and I'll stand beside my brother. I'll walk down that street in the middle of a impoverished neighborhood. You understand? Dick Gregory, that man dropped that career and went straight and narrow. See, we're not doing that, right?
Try to make that brother crazy also because he was spitting so much truth.
Absolutely. And that's what they're going to do. And the problem is that we don't see these tactics, right? So yes, the blockchain is valid, brother, but we're not tactical, right? So far when it comes to us dealing amongst others, we're tactical with each other, right? We'll know how to use all these tools when it comes to bringing each other down. But the moment it comes to now using these things in our benefit outside of ourselves, we don't know what we're doing.
I'll say this. Let me tell you like this. Listen, you got to understand the system that we were under back then and the system that we are under now. When they integrated us, that harmed us because that took away our people supporting our people. If anybody who's on my live, y'all heard me say this. I don't want money with the dominant society. If my people don't make me rich, I don't want to be rich. Because the moment the dominant society makes me rich, they own me. That's why I don't trust any actor, any entertainer, any ball player, any rapper, any R&B, anybody that the dominant society props up, anybody in mainstream media, I don't trust them because they're all bought. The moment you take the money, they own you. I remember when I was trying to be in the entertainment industry, and I was working my way up in the ranks, and people were seeing me and noticing me. I'm so thankful because I had people out of nowhere just say some strange stuff to me. I had one dude come up to me and tell me, listen here, young blood, I see them watching you, and they're making decisions about you that you don't even know about. Let me give you some game. He said, if you don't need the money, don't take it, because nothing is for free here. At 19 years old, I had no clue what that meant. I just told the brother, thank you. I was smart enough to thank him because, I was raised right because he was older than me. But I had weird people come out of the blue and just tell me certain things, man, and just give me the game. The moment you take that money, family, the moment you take that contract, family, the moment you get that high salary that comes from them corporations, family, I want you to understand something. They own you. And you gonna do what they say you're gonna do if they paid you that money, or they're gonna destroy your life.
Hey, too much, they don't care, brother. They don't mind, right? It takes the responsibility out of their hands. It takes the responsibility out of our hands. Do you understand? We as a nation of people, a race of people, we have gotten so comfortable with being in this position that we rather just allow ourselves to be here. We wouldn't have a problem and none of this stuff would be occurring if we got the benefits and incentives that everybody else when they come here get, right? We wouldn't have a problem with no pass. We wouldn't have a problem with how the system works. We wouldn't have a problem with none of this stuff if we just got compensated. That's the sad part.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the sad part.
I hear what you're saying, but again, this is chess, not checkers out here, and we got to understand that. And I hear what you're saying.
We don't. That's the crazy part.
No,
too
no,
much. We don't.
Baba, I hear what you're saying, but I cannot believe. Listen, all we need is a remnant, and we have a remnant that's being built. That's in the. It's called the grassroots. You got to plug into the grassroots media because that's where things are happening. We understand COINTELPRO. We understand all that, but we listen. We have been given the hardest road. We have been given the hardest fight. We have been given the hardest struggle. And it's not so we can say we can't get right. It's all for the making of us. We have been given this spirit that nobody else has. Not just to do nothing with it, but to become something with it. To do greater things on this earth. We have been given this plight and we must accept it. Now, are many of us going to fall by the wayside? Maybe. But enough of us is going to stay on code. Enough of us is going to stand on business. Enough of us is going to pass this black consciousness down to our children. And we're going to rise up. We should have listened to Dr. Claude Anderson. We should have listened to Elijah Muhammad. We should have listened to Farrakhan. We should have listened to Malcolm X. We should have listened to Stokely Carmichael. We should have listened to We should have listened to so many people that were trying to tell us what was going to happen to us, and we ignored it. We can't lie about that.
And yes, that's what's making my point, brother. That's what's making my point. You can't sit up here and keep saying, woe is me, why this happening to us, and then when there's people that has been coming down the pipeline for decade and century after century that we keep screwing over, sending over, backstabbing, unaliving, betraying, selling out. Come on, bro.
Well,
Time after time again, put ourselves in that. Hold on, OG. Time and time after again, we have consecutively put ourselves in this situation and in this condition, and time again, we continuously make the same bad decisions, knowing the result. We have to stop doing this stuff and thinking that we're going to get results. I have never seen a race of people that genuinely believe Playing a corrupt game that is already rigged against you, playing that game legitimately is going to help you win the game. I've never heard. Do you understand? Like our psychology and how we move it don't make no sense.
Enough, brother. I hear you, but enough of us are. Listen, brother. I know riders. I've been around them. I know people who have freed themselves from this matrix, and that's what we got to do as a people. We can't just have a few of us get free and not all of us get free. That's one thing I love about our people. Enough, the ones that got free are trying to free the people. And we're going to keep doing it. The ones that know better are going to do better. And we're going to keep doing that. Now, is it enough of us? No, it's not. I mean, we need more. We need more. I get you. We need to support each other more. But we're going to get there. Listen, the ancestors didn't wake me up. Look, I feel like everything I'm doing is because of the ancestors and because of the Most High. I really feel like that. And my mindset, I always tell people this, listen, if you're going to start a business, if you're not prepared to get 50,000 no's, don't start that business. If you have a vision, and if you're not prepared that everybody in your family, everybody that you know on the planet don't believe in the vision but you, don't start that vision, because you are the engine in your vision. You have to have that belief in yourself. That brings, but that causes other people to believe in you because they see how you believe. If you don't have that energy, don't get involved with that movement because you ain't ready. I always say that if you ain't ready, if you're not prepared to push it yourself, if you're not prepared to be on the front line and take all the hits, don't get on the front line.
That's what
I'm
I'm saying.
prepared for that.
That's what I'm saying. You can't really, and that's why I was saying that everybody wants to see you do it first. And that's why it's better to not even have don't tell everybody you're going to start a business. You're going to just get as much as you can done and then go directly to the people that you think that can assist you with finances or whatever you want to do before you start spreading information. Your business should be up, whatever your idea should be up and running, because there's always so many people trying to pull you down mentally and telling you it's not going to work. I've been working for a very long time. Go ahead.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this. Be mentally tough. Be prepared to take the hits.
Right.
I'm not saying go be a blabbermouth, but you got to tell some people because you are gonna need help.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
So you got to go out there and you got to face the no's. You got to be strong enough to face the backlash and face the no's and face the rejection. That's how you build. First of all, that's how you build yourself up to become stronger, and that's how people see how when they see you walk through the fire, they feel empowered that they can walk through the fire, because those same people that didn't join you in the beginning, they're going to eventually join you.
And then I think you're mistaken what I'm saying. Let me say this quick. Let me give you this example. When I was starting my daycare, I didn't say anything to a bunch of people until I actually got it started, because I know that some people were against me. Once I got it started, everybody knew about it. But I went directly to the people I needed the finances from. Some people said no, and then I got somebody that said yes. But I didn't go announce it to 50,000 people. Once it was started, and I got the funds that I needed, then everybody knew about it. And I don't mind saying no. I don't mind people telling me no, because I have the mindset that no matter what you say, no matter what you tell, this just happened to me, and I don't want to take up any more time. This just happened to me a few days ago. I finally got an investor for something I want to do in real estate, and it's huge. But now all the people that wouldn't help, they want to know who that person is. I'm not telling them nothing. I got my investor. You didn't want to help. What do you need with my information?
See, let me say this. I am the founder of FBA Coin. Okay, I built it myself. It took me 3 months to do it. I announced that I was going to do it. I tried to get help from the people. Nobody helped me. Not that they didn't want to help me. Maybe they just didn't have the time. But I went and coded and did everything myself. Put the smart contract, did everything. Took me about 3 months to do it. Now I can probably build a coin in like 2-3 weeks. But the first coin, it took me like 3 weeks to do it, and I put it on the wrong platform. So I had to switch it and migrate over to the right platform. So that took me another 2 weeks to do. You see what I'm saying? So listen, I did all that, and I faced everybody calling me a scam, calling me. They still do it. My coin is verified, it's minted, it's ready to go. It just needs funding. And guess what? I'm going to get the funding. I put my own money. Nobody gave me money to start the coin. I did it myself. I put my own money into it. I built it myself from scratch. And guess what? I tell everybody about it. Now, whether they go up, but my job is not to beg you. My job is not to force you. My job is just say, hey man, we have it. It's over here. It needs funding. You know, I initially wanted $500,000 to $1 million. I wanted to raise that, but you know what? Realistically, we're gonna need about $5 billion to really get it off the ground. And some people might think, oh, that's too big of a goal. Listen, man, I believe that my people are gonna support it. They may not jump to it quickly, and that's okay. I don't care. I'm willing to take every single hit and criticism until it come to pass. Because when it does come to pass, people are going to remember where I started from. People are going to remember where I came from. People are going to remember when they thought, when they didn't want to support it, they didn't believe in it, they didn't know nothing about it. But all of a sudden, those little $5, those little $10s, those little $20, those little $100, they're going to add up. And we got the money. It's not that we don't.
Oh, we definitely have the money.
We have the money.
And then some.
And my thing is this: I don't want to diss nobody. I don't want to have that mentality that a lot of us get when our people don't support them right away. We kind of have that bad taste in our mouth from our people. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sit there with my people until they finally get it. I'm gonna say, listen, this is yours. This is ours. You need to fund it.
I agree with you. I just think one last thing. I'm going to
accept the love from my people, and when they support this thing and it comes off the ground, they're going to be proud of themselves. I don't want to give that glory to nobody else. I want to give that glory to our people. So I get it. Don't get it wrong. I'm gonna go get funding. I'm gonna do private purchases. I'm gonna get I know wealthy people, man. I'm gonna get wealthy black people. I might even get some wealthy white people. I don't know. I'd rather get it from us. I'd rather get it from us. You know what? I have no problem with taking the wealth that was stolen from us and putting it back for us. You
just don't want to give control. I just want to say quickly, I don't quite think you understand what I'm saying. Your thing is much bigger, and I didn't need millions, I didn't need billions, and that worked out for me. Sometimes you do have to be quiet. In certain situations like yours, of course you can't be quiet because it's too massive to be quiet. Everybody needs to be involved. So let's just agree to disagree, because I don't think you see what I'm saying. In a situation like that, I wouldn't be quiet about it. But there are certain situations where you may want to do something on another level. It's nowhere near as large. And you got people out there, especially in my circles, who will go to that person that they think that will do it. So that's all I'm going to say. You can let someone else go.
Okay, let me. Listen. I hear what you're saying. I hear everybody say we got to move in silence.
Exactly.
But and I understand that. But I'm saying that in my mind they dominate all areas of activity. How silent can we be until we come up with a think tank? And I think this FBA coin is going to be the start of the think tank, because it's going to be run by a think tank. It's going to have the DAO governance. Until we start being strategic like that, we have to let our people know, hey, we need all hands on deck. We need help. If y'all don't listen, Bob, I hear what you're saying too. But if we don't come together and do this, who's gonna do it?
That's the
point. If the dominant society gets involved, they're gonna want something in return. They never do nothing for free. They're gonna be looking for favors. Oh, I did you a favor, now I need a favor.
But too much. That's what I'm discussing, right? That's what I was discussing. What you're talking about right now is what I'm discussing, right? Your blockchain is a key component. We had this discussion. I know this, just like you know this. Right? A lot of the things that you just told me you did in order to put yourself in this position and to legitimize yourself, you think other nations and races of people would have had that issue. To have people support and stand behind them, even though they cannot see the vision and don't clearly know the plan.
Not
No, it wouldn't
necessarily.
have been that problem. It wouldn't have been a problem. It would not have been a problem. You know how many times these other races claim things that's not theirs and have other people stand behind the lie, even though they know it's a lie? You know how many different organizations, companies, or businesses these other races start, or these other people in other nations start with no funds, with no money, with just an idea, and other people stand behind them with no valid results yet? But we're talking about, oh, you need to get results
I
first.
think
That's
what
a
you're talking about
problem.
kind of go to morals on that though, and I think
Hold
Christianity.
on, hold on, brother. Let me finish. These are a lot of our issues, period. How we carry and conduct ourselves amongst each other is why when it comes to handling real business, it does not get done. It does not get done. The moment one of us tries to actually step up and take responsibility for this type of stuff, we are the first ones to find a reason to knock this person right out of the position. Boom. To not support. Boom. To not stand behind him because he don't have no real tangible results yet.
But see, that's part of the propaganda and witchcraft, brother. That's part of that. That's what we're coming out of. We've been under heavy propaganda and witchcraft, man, and we have to admit
But too much. We're not getting out of it because everybody is still saying it. You have to already have something packaged and made for us first before we decide we're going to now step up and support you. Other races and nations of people don't need that. They don't need something already produced for their people, for people to stand behind them and their vision if it makes sense. Even if it don't, they're going to stand behind them.
I think Christianity, man. Morals is just gone. You gotta have information and knowledge to learn about being like that. And there is information from God that talks about doing exactly what he's talking about. And I believe what you're talking about, brother. It can be done. It's just people gotta understand the same laws and ethics of what we believe in. If not, they got their own mindset and doing their own thing, and that's why people act like they act. They have
Thank
no.
you.
I'm like this. This is how I move, family. I move on faith. I don't believe. Listen, I believe you have to encourage yourself. I believe, my dad raised me to have high belief in myself. My dad raised me to stand on business. When I was in the Hollywood family, they offered me money to be a degenerate if I wanted to be.
And that's my point.
But I knew I didn't need what they were offering because I can do it myself. And you know what? I just believe there are enough black people, foundational black Americans, that are going to trust in the vision and trust what I'm doing, and they're going to be called to the same thing, and they're going to help me do it because it's not for me, it's for us. And listen, and at some point we got to realize we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. We got a short amount of time. We got about 3 more years, maybe less, to build what we're building. And guess what? If it fails, my conscience is clean. If it fails, my conscience is clean because I did what I was called to do. And I don't think God's going to call me or the ancestors going to tell me to do something that's going to fail. I just believe there's enough people. I'm clean. I'm righteous. I have no bad record. I have no skeletons in my closet. There's whatever they're going to dig up, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a lie because there's nothing in my past that I'm ashamed of. So they called the right person. I have no criminal history, none of that. Matter of fact, I'm known in my city. Everybody knows me, and they can vouch for me. There's nothing in my past I'm ashamed of. I can stand on business, and people can say, "Yep, he's always been like that." My 5 closest friends, they speak highly of me. I'm supposed to, man. In my high school, most likely to succeed. That was me. I've always been this way. So I feel like I'm the right person. I feel like it's the right time. And I feel like the people are ready to listen because they're tired of the BS. See, you're not going to change unless you're tired. You're not going to move unless somebody pushes you, unless somebody prods, unless you're not going to get better unless you become refined, unless you have some purging going on. So I hear what everybody's saying, but I hear my voice louder than yours. Not that what you're saying is wrong, but I hear the voice that inside of me telling me, just do it. Just do it. And I'm gonna do it.
Tell you what, brother, I
The
feel the
voice
same
of
way
God,
as you.
that's what it is.
I'll be glad to be a soldier in your army. I'm sure I can conjure up a whole lot of us to feel the same way.
Man, you gotta have that Rodney Hinton spirit where you're not afraid of the consequences no more. We can't be afraid of consequences anymore.
And that's the bottom line right there.
You
We're
gotta
so
have that
concerned
Rodney
about the
Hinton
consequences
spirit
of what
where
we're
you're
going to
like,
do.
I'm gonna get my lick back regardless of what happens to me. I don't care. They took my son.
Nah, that's not
That's
how
how
we
we
operate.
gotta be.
But we
Because
got to start
we
focusing
know
on the people
justice
that
is
do
not
are
coming
positive.
from
We
the.
can't keep talking about what somebody's not going to do and what we're not going to get nowhere. We got to focus on the positive. Forget the people that's not going to do it. It's millions of people that will do it. We have
Right.
to
That's
stop
all I'm
talking about
saying.
it's not going to happen for
Stop
this reason
talking
and
to the
that reason.
wrong people.
We
Stop
can't
talking.
do
Listen,
that.
I'm gonna speak and I'm gonna keep speaking, and enough people are gonna say, you know what, hey man, FBAcoin.org, we're gonna check it out. That's all I'm
Absolutely.
asking y'all to do is
Real.
just do your research. Just do your research. And if you feel after you've done your research that you want to donate and that you want to be a part of it, then so be it.
Hey, Too Much. Let me just say this to what she's saying. Yes, I understand. We cannot focus on those who don't want to do the work. But what you're missing is that majority of us are the ones who are not doing the work. See, everywhere else and every other races, they have already been
Okay,
doing the
you brought
work.
up Dick Gregory. Do you think he cared what people thought?
Right.
Hold on.
You need, Barbara, you've been saying that for a while. Bring us some solutions because we're working with the people. We're not talking about those people on this platform. We're just not.
Ma'am, I respectfully gave you your time to speak.
Go ahead, but you need to change that
Okay,
now.
ma'am, but you have to keep quiet so I can finish, please. Thank you. So again, the point is that we have waited too long down this path to now say, let's focus on those who want to do it. This is something we should have been doing from the time Martin got dropped, from the time Malcolm got dropped, from the time Dick Gregory was out here dropping his career to come out here and do. We should have been doing that then. We shouldn't have waited to let everything go down the rabbit hole and so far down the rabbit hole that we don't know what we in to want to talk about now. Let's focus on the ones who want to do. That don't make no sense. This is really something that should have been done a long time ago, and this should have been something that should have been passed down a long time ago.
What are we
Through this
gonna do
to
now?
Too Much.
But we're past the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, bro. We're past the
We
shoulda,
can't
coulda,
even keep
wouldas,
our
man.
mouth shut and let a man finish out his thought. How are we going to get this done? The moment we have something that we want to speak up on from another person's vision, we can't even let that person finish before we want to speak up on them.
It's so in
Well,
doubt.
what's your
Okay,
solution?
okay. Are you done now? Like, are you done now? So I can say, like, it's past the shoulda, coulda, woulda stage, dog. Like, we're talking about some stuff that, like,
Hold on, QG.
talking about the future. You talking about the past. We're talking about two different things.
I'm with you. Hold on, QG. Baba. Now, what's your solution? Because we know what we messed up. We know we should listen to Dr. Claude Anderson. We know we should listen to Dick Greg. We know we should have heard these people when they told us, get out of these people's system. What's the solution now since we're past the point of no return?
Get out that Christianity.
We working on a solution now, right now.
But he just want to go back and say what went wrong. Like, damn.
Everything y'all said is true, but everybody is saying it from one point of view. If y'all put y'all collective thoughts together from what every one of y'all just said, it's all true. So even with the post that you got back there, the Negro Silent Protest Parade, that's actively happening right now with the small boycotts that's going on. Ain't nobody else doing that with the original Black Americans. Ain't nobody doing that with us at all. When it comes to the income of a racial group, nobody makes more money than us. Nobody spends more money than us. So now we got these Africans coming over here trying to buy into what the what the Black Americans created, so that way they can get into our money too. They doing the same thing that the Native Americans did to us when they made the treaties with all the Europeans. We keep getting nothing out of these deals because we move as a unit, but we have no source to home it like everybody else. We do not have a political party specifically for the original Americans of America. We do not have our own political party. Without having a political party for us to become a union for ourselves, that's the only way for us to receive any type of reparations. Understand, the Native Americans were the first and most prime example of it. Throughout mentioning of history, you never heard about these Native Americans, the Asians, until around 1800, because they were breeding them on those colonies. On the 13 colonies, they were breeding those Native Americans. It's nothing that discredits this. And what we need is for us to have a political party, the same way the Asians came over here. What do they have? An Asian American party, political party. When the natives got signed, remember, 1924 when they gave it to them, what did they create? The Native American Party. You know who funded the Native American Party? The Know-Nothings. The Know-Nothings funded the Native American parties. None of us have a political party for us to present ourselves on a political platform. We can't obtain anything if somebody's trying to give us something, but there's nowhere to put it. So what they do, so they can say that they do hand it out, is make these subgroups. What's a native? What's an indigenous? You know what? Let's give it to the natives because they part indigenous. It's a subgroup, and they're giving it to the subgroups that they're creating around the foundational Black Americans' names. It's like we have a real name, but they using our nickname. And we don't have anywhere to put, so we need to put a body to our name. We're the original Americans. By every decree of creating a new country, a new continent, a citizenship, we are the original American. No matter if you say you come from descendant of slave, no matter if you say that you're just all 100% American, when it comes to it, we were here before the creation of the United States Corporation. We were still here before they had ownership of us. We are literally and legally the original Americans. From the beginning of the nation's creation throughout, we were here already in every shape and form.
You talking about the Moorish president?
No, everything, bro. Everything. Before everything. During everything. Before they made the United States, the corporation of America. Before they did that, before they created that for the Constitution that talks about the United States of America's corporation, we are the citizens before the creation of it. We were already the landowners, no matter what shape or form. We were already on the land. We did not immigrate into the country or after the country's birth. We were
Okay,
already
Adam, so
here.
can I ask
We're
you a
the
question
birth
in
of the
reference to what
nation,
you're
but
saying,
we
brother?
have no national party for ourselves. We need a
Okay.
national party for ourselves. A national
Adam, can I
party
ask you a
for
question to what
us.
you're saying? Can I ask you a question to what you're saying?
Yeah.
If we are the original people before this structure began, why are we trying to now construct something that we are
We're
older than in
constructing
order
it.
to, hold on, brother. Let me get the question out. You're saying we're the original people before they created this United States Corporation here, which I agree with you. We were here long before any other nation of people was here, right? So I do agree with that. I'm asking, wouldn't it benefit us more if we took our energy out of that way of thinking, right, for the system? Like politics. Politics wasn't a thing for us before the United States corporations came into play, right? That just wasn't a thing, right? Politics and all this other stuff that we now talking about and saying we need in order to be able to get ourselves back to where we were before, that didn't exist before they showed up. So what I'm saying is, Is there something we can do to put ourselves back into what we were doing before this stuff showed up in order to get ourselves out of it? Because to me personally, it doesn't make sense to play a game that's already rigged against you in order to get yourself out of it.
Oh, okay, you ready?
We gotta play
You can.
the game in within the system. I think what we need is for black people to actually come together. We need three things. We need a banking system, a hospital, and a police station.
Yes.
Without those
Hold on,
three
real quick.
fundamentals,
Hold on, I'm gonna let you speak, Certified Bob. Let me tell you what we need, brother.
I said
We
something.
gotta have people working outside the
Get your
system.
big face ass back. Get your ice cube hat wearing ass back. Get your tight hat ass back. Get your big ear ass back. Get your dirty face ass back.
Always a troll. We
oh
gotta
man,
we gotta have people working in this system for the time being, and then we gotta have people working outside the system. We gotta have both. We gotta have a political party, and then we gotta build a system that Bob was talking about. That we don't even need that. We don't even need the political party. What we
Yes.
have to do is we have to build a system. We have to
Yes.
build our own system. We cannot rely on their system. We do need hospitals. We do need police. We do need some type of protection, right? We do need a banking system, but not attached to their banking system. See, if you get a bank in their system, it's tied to them. It's tied to the IMF and all. It's tied to them. We have to build something centralized. That's why the FBA coin is so important, because it is a decentralized bank. We need something that they can't cancel. We need something that they can't come. When we had our Freedmen's Bank, remember what happened to our Freedmen's Bank, right? They just took our money. They just took it. So we can build a bank, yeah, we can do that. But guess what's going to happen? The government can come in and take it, and we can't
if
allow that. So we
right,
can't build a banking.
Peace and
We
blessings,
can't build a bank which they can come back and do. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We already know what's going to happen. We start setting up on the corners and start doing the fruit like the Hispanics do. They're going to get us out the paint. Notice that. See, do y'all notice that they allow immigrants to come in here and do the stuff that we used to do, that they stopped us from doing?
Right.
But they allow them to do it. So if we know that, that's why you don't see us out there doing that. See, when people say, well, why can't black people just work hard and do this? Because we did all that. And every time we did it, they came and stopped us.
Exactly.
So we have to do something different. I hear what Baba is saying. We got to do something different. But what we got to do is we got to work outside the system and build. We have to put all our energy on building this new system.
Exactly.
Yes.
Can you drop me, host?
That you said makes sense. So first and foremost, good
Want me to
morning.
drop you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
But I
And
think
make sure they stay on topic, please. Thank you.
one of the biggest pieces, as a moderator, I am going to stay on topic. One of the biggest pieces that is absolutely missing from the entire collective, there are a lot of solutions, there are a lot of ideas. If we do not have a structure, a strategy, and leadership that goes along with it, it becomes just noise. And they're fragments that have no alignment with a direction. We need to have a complete, because even Baba brought up, the fact that there are certain things that we can actually learn from what actually happened in the very beginning. We are just, and there are pockets of us all over everywhere. The beginning of to get to the next phase is we have to come together as a unity. And what's happening right now, the reason that things keep getting shut down is because when we get an idea, we get excited and we start promote. And guess what? If you don't have a patent that's attached to it, you don't have any type of seal that goes along with it, that idea becomes a moot point, because guess what? So we got to stop with the, kind of infighting and start with number one, containing the things that we can control, which is individually getting a clear understanding of who you are and what your alignment is, whether you are black Native American, whether you are Aboriginal, indigenous to the land. You've got to have that conversation. You've got to make sure that you know how to get there, because understand, if we don't, that's where the broken pieces are, because there's a lot of, I'll say we just look like we're arguing and we're standing on business and we're throwing out things, and they are great ideas. But the question becomes, every one of these groups that have come over here from their other countries, they've come from a formed, stabilized group. We don't have that. Then once we get the leadership that goes along with it, then we can align with just what Too Much was saying, the in and the out, because it's not just about creating a little pocket. We've got to partner. No matter how much we don't want to do it, we've got to partner in order to establish our own.
Ms. Mel, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Because I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying here. Here's my question to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to do that if we can't even allow certain people who's taken to initiative to step up into the leadership position to actually take on the responsibility without trying to be leaders for them? Because the moment somebody, hold on. The moment that somebody steps up and tries to actually take on the position, or a collective of a few people try to step up and take position in leadership, it's the rest of us who want to find ways to say, oh, you're not a leader because your leaders do that. Everybody knows, everybody's a chief and no Indians. So how are we going to do that if everybody's chief?
You gotta detach. You gotta leave people behind.
Hold on. I'm going to tell y'all the smoothest way. We already have it. I'm going to tell y'all the way. We do not have a leader. We have a code. The code gives you the instructions on how you're supposed to move and do everything. The code makes you a leader. So everybody is distinct a leader if you get on code. So that way, if they do take out one of our leaders, we got many, many more, because the code is the leader. They can't kill the code. They cannot alive the code. If you have a code and you follow the code, you're on code, you're doing exactly what our people must and need to do. That way nobody can argue with anybody, because everybody's doing what? Operating in the code. So the code is the leader. If you follow the code, if you do what the code says do, you're doing what all of us must and need to do. You're doing what the collective wants us to do. And that's how we do it. We follow.
Right.
Right. Can I jump in real quick?
Hey, Too Much. Watch this.
I think what people fail to realize is
we have consequences for people that are off code. That's it.
Baba had
rules and regulations.
Baba had a great question. He directed the question to me. And I Too Much did bring in the basically what the containment and what the scope of what the people that are a part of the collective needs to do from a character perspective. So I absolutely agree with him. Baba, let me say this. One of the things that we have to realize is that we don't have like one tiny little problem. We have we have shards of glass, and we have tons of shards of glass that are everywhere. It's not something that just popped up over the last 5, 10, 50 years. This has been going on and it's deep seated. So what has to happen is that we have to have smaller community type leadership representation. Let me say this about leadership also. And everyone who has ever led, whether it's for them or whether you've been a leader in your own organization, you're going to have people who don't want you to be in leadership. So in order to be the leader that you know that you are, you've got to be able to do the following things. Number one, listen to your people, understand what the problems are, and create solutions that include your people as all inclusive, and support that from and have a mission that goes along with it. We have a lot of people that are in our culture that have the ability to do these things, but the thing is, number one, either you don't know how to bring it together with the level of structure that's needed, because in order to compare or to build our own system, we can't go outside of the structure and just go out and just be reckless and become all wild. And the reason is because, just like it happened with in the past, they're going to continue to create pitfalls for us, whether they do it or we do it to ourselves. So the code is the foundation of what you need to individually, like your own personal your own personal character and your own personal checklist within your communities. Your communities, whether your communities are your homes, whether those homes become the communities that then you expand that those types of communities.
Going kind of long. I want to speak on some of this stuff.
In that space, but you can't. We can't go from zero to being tick tick boom. It has to be. We are in a reconstructive era. We
NJ, we want to unpack
the
some of those
Reconstructive era has been happening a long time ago. They reconstructed all of this. We're so far behind, and they've been having their teeth sunken in our jugular for so long. Now we want to talk about we got to have a plan. We got to too much. How long have me and you been doing this? For the past 2 years? How long have I known you, brother, talking about this stuff? Where were these people at 2 years ago? Right? Where was this stuff at 2 years ago, brother? This is when it should have been done, not now when everything about to kick off.
Let me say,
bam, I let you speak.
Hold on,
this is what I'm talking about, brother.
First of all, I wasn't done speaking before you started jumping on top of it and talking about we did this.
Not only that, he keeps bringing up the same thing. He keeps bringing up the same, so he's so in doubt.
He keeps talking about, we did this before in the past. We did this, or we understand that there's history that's there. But until you have a plan, you have to have a plan. I don't care whether you know what, and you have to take what hasn't happened in the past. You have to look at that as lessons learned, point blank, period. You have to have a starting point. You create a strategy, you create a mission, and then you go forward. You have to have leadership, and you have to have people in place that go along with it. And before you get the leadership, you need to have boards of advisors. And in order to make sure that you have the right representation, you need to find out where all of the people that call themselves FBAs need to understand where exactly they are, because just because we're having this conversation doesn't mean that we are the only FBAs. And that's where the problem is coming in. We've got to have that conversation and figure out what's going on. So that, like I said before, there's shards of glass. Create what's happening in your own home. That part is number one. Because individually, we still have to interact with the rest of the world. The second piece is that then we have to make sure that we're taking responsibility and going to be leaders and leaders that are moving into the direction of solving the bigger problem. Is that then you go out and you find the others and you start having those conversations. Because right now, these conversations and, someone continuing to have, to be rude and talk about, oh, we did this before. Why? Where was all of this before? How about 𝗂𝗄𝗏, shut your mouth and you ask the question and you need to sit it down and listen. Because you didn't come in and say how do you create the leadership roles. You came in and you asked as an individual. There's a difference between an individual and a leader. If you don't put leadership in place, you're going to continue to get the same results that you had that you've received before. I land my plane.
I think what he forget is we got 92% of people still attached to the Democratic Party. You got people still attached to the Democratic Party.
Right. And I would like to change them over into our own political party. Like we have the numbers. Create our own political party.
We do have the numbers. Listen, if we control the swing vote in this country and we had our own political party, do you know how much they're gonna have to cape to us to get anything done?
And that's why this is why I am asking and I'm requesting and I'm trying to plant the idea of us creating our own political party under the name of the original American Party. So this way we can have an umbrella that attaches all of us for the FBA and everybody that attaches themselves to America. With those that have the same matching struggles and dealings in a daily life. For those who understand when I say the phrase, if you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. I need for them to understand that we have our own way of life, we have our own people, we have our own souls, and we have our own things that we have to take care of. So we need our own political party. With this political party in my mind, I believe that we go under as the original as the original American party. Once we have this original American party that's covering us for our party, now we can establish our unionships within the governments of the world. We're not exiling ourselves from the world. We're going to place ourselves in a world where we deserve to be. And in order for us to do that, we have to create this body in order to put inside of this placement. We need to create our political party. We have the original American party. This covers us. We're original Americans. Inside, underneath this party, it will be like it will be where our tribal, like our state representatives, our union parties, our educational parties. We can create all of that under the same umbrella of the original American party. We'll be able to fund ourselves. We'll be able to create conversations and meetings and organizational projects in order for us to sit down with each other collectively across the board of America. And now we can all hear each other's cries and complaints and what we need, so that way we can reach out to one another underneath our party of being the original Americans. This is my vision.
I think you and I are saying the same thing. I think that what you're saying is more of the action items that or proposal that goes along with this is how it would work if we're pulling together all of the across America, all of the FBAs and Black Americans that we have, and we can then have certain conversations that go along with it. I think that what you're saying makes complete sense. It takes what I said and breaks it down into action items. And the piece that even takes it further is everyone listening and taking their own, because the work is not just about at the entire nation that we have at that level. We have work that has to be done individually within our own homes, that while we are preparing to get to that next level. There's individual work that needs to be done.
That's a lot of work.
I've heard that. I grew up with that term.
There is a lot of work that needs to be done, because the interesting part is some of it may even already be done that we don't even realize. The second piece that goes along with it, a lot of us need to realize what our skill sets are and actually take inventory of them, and then determine how you're going to move forward with those particular. Again, that's individually. But to your point, Adam, I think that what you're saying is the action item that goes along with the leadership structure, strategy, and plan in order to bring us together as a collective whole. And that's where the conversations happen. And that's where, hey, we bring together what exactly do we need in order to partner or work within understanding what the word, breaking down just government is, how they're governing the bodies, right? So that's the rules that they've placed and that they have. What do we need in order to get our voice heard? What do we need in order to be a part of the decisions that are
Okay, to start off, here's how I'm presenting it. I cannot clean somebody else's house if my house is dirty.
That's right.
And I cannot clean my house if I ain't got no house. So how are we going to clean up something that we don't even have right now? This is why we need for us to have a union, a party of our own, so that way we can create our house so we can clean it. Before we move in, we clean. That's something that's just in our DNA. Before we move in, we clean. So in order for us to start this cleaning process, we got to find our house. We got to find that location, that land, that thing where we can build our foundation in. What do you have? This right here. It's right here. And now we're going to name this as the original American party. So we can build. We can create the infrastructure for our home now. And our home is wide. Understand, it spans from California to Maine. We have a big house, and we have a lot of people inside of our home that we need to connect to, so that way we can clean it
from head to toe.
But there's
So
some. Go
I
ahead.
think I think the thing is too is we're gonna have to realize that we just got degenerates in our community. You're gonna have to. We can't bring them along. They're gonna have to just be on their own.
that's all right. We good with that because
They'll come around.
understand. I don't know about y'all, but when I grew up,
So,
when
so
you
hold on,
walked in
hold
the
on, AJ.
room, you had to talk to an adult.
Degenerate, the people that the 17% of the population that might be considered degenerates, they don't join political parties, sir. They don't even get involved. You understand? Because we can't
I agree.
even worry about that.
So that's a
All
mindset.
we got to
But
do is stand on business and focus on what we're focusing on. And the people that are going to be a part of it,
but they gonna try to fuck it up too much. They gonna try to fuck it up. You know that.
how? They're not known for getting in politics or for voting or for doing anything like that. How? The only people that can mess it up is the people that are in it. And you know who's known for messing stuff up? A lot of times we shoot ourselves in the foot.
I agree. I
We
agree.
do it. So all we got to do is make sure that we do what we say we're going to do. We got to stop the lies, stop the deceit, stand on business, be who we say we are, not have hidden agendas. Just speak truth. Let the liars be the tethers. Let the liars be the sellouts. Because that's what their job. Their job is to act like they not lying when they are.
But you know what? Also, too much. One of the biggest things that we also have to have is a mindset shift, because we're going to slow ourselves down, keep slowing ourselves down, if we keep having to stop and re-educate every single little thing along the way. And like, okay, every let me tell you what we're doing. This is why we don't do it. This is why we're going at. There need to be specific guardrails that are aligned, or what we classify as the structure, that if you violate or you cross, there are consequences. Point blank, period. Even with the basic humanity goals of, we need to stop disrespecting each other, because the interesting part is everyone on the channel, including Baba, with his rude and disgusting conversation, have great ideas, because the problems are not just one fold. We have multiple layers of stop what needs to happen here with us, but we don't have enough respect for each other. And that the respect is listening to what someone else is saying, and then having the ability to say, you know what, I like what you're saying and it makes sense. I have a question for you. Oh, how can we take this one? We don't do it. No, we don't. We feel like the court of TikTok is the place to have the conversation. And I wish that we would stop. I really wish that we would stop having the because you know what? It makes us look so unhinged and unintelligent. It really, really does. And in order to move forward in structure, have a vision and write it down on tablets. It doesn't get any more points than that.
Hey, drop Tony. Look, Tony, we can't hear Tony.
Is that Tony making the noise, or is that who?
Yeah, that's Tony. Drop Tony.
Yeah, we can't hear. Mute him.
Tony, are you there? Tony?
Yeah. Mute him.
We have a vision. Have a vision and write it down on tablets. Even like I said, Adam's plan makes total sense. But you know what also needs to happen? We need to be in a place. We need to be in a place outside of TikTok.
Hold on real quick, AJ. CC, is that you making noise, sir? CC.
It could possibly. Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Mute your mic, brother. Mute your mic.
It could be.
Mute your mic, brother. Yeah, you have a lot of background noise going on, bro. You gotta mute that mic.
I got rid of it. I'm good.
Yeah, let me help you out, bro. Let me help you out. Tony, request back up, Tony.
They're great opportunities. They're great, and even especially with Too Much, starting with the, he brings to the table the SBA court. That is so huge. But that's one component of it. If we don't know how to use it, it becomes giving $20 billion a platform. And that's why I said we've got to, there are certain people in our community, and it's no fault of their own, that have no idea what the power of that is. What do we need to do with it, and how do I get involved? Again, it has to start with a mindset shift. And the mindset shift is, number one, we've got to detach and really take an inventory. That's why I keep saying, look at yourself individually. Just because you understand it doesn't mean that the next person understands it. Just because you know where you're going doesn't mean the next person knows where they're going. And in order to build the link to the chains, guess what has to happen? You've got to determine how you're going to help that next person. And you have to make sure that you're bringing it at a level that everyone, that at least, I'm going to say this across the board, a 5th grade level, everyone should understand. There are people that probably still don't understand Bitcoin, that still don't understand blockchain. And that's nothing that is to be ashamed of. But guess what? At this point in time, that if we're going to create a nation that goes along with what we need in order for us to survive, guess what? That's a part of the problem that we have to solve. So we can't just say, oh, we're going to take off on track 8, it's leaving, and it's going express.
Okay, so may
Hold
I?
on, let me say this real quick. Listen. Blockchain, cryptocurrency is the new bank. Smart contract is the new trust. And it's 10 times better than what they created. That's them trying to imitate a system that's flawless, but we're going to build on the system that's already flawless.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the mindset we got to have. You need a couple things to get an economy that's booming. You need trust. You need high integrity when it comes to business. And you need currency. We got all that on the blockchain, family. We don't need anything outside of the blockchain, family. I'm telling you, the blockchain, you can build platforms, you can build everything we need on the blockchain, and it will remain forever. We no longer have to write on stone tablets. We no longer have to sign funky contracts with fine print that don't recognize or is beneficial to us. We now can make the contracts very plain, very simple, very easy to understand. And we can log on to that. We build our infrastructure over here, it's not going to crumble. We keep building it over there, they're going to keep tearing it up. The start to everything, the start to the political party, I'm telling you, it starts with the blockchain. You can build a political party on the blockchain, family.
Yes. So, may I? So, with that, that's what I'm getting to with the funding. So my first step to start this is first go through the paperwork. Understand they're paper Nazis. Always remember that. We go through the paperwork and we establish ourselves underneath the original American party. With this being established, now somebody else is going to be like, "Hey, look, they started up a party." It's always all eyes on us, no matter what we do. But as soon as that news come out, like, "Hey, they really got their own political party. Ha ha ha! What they gonna do?" We make agreements with the black banks, the ones that have been operating for years, for centuries. Or I say we can make a deal with
Those
them,
banks
or we
are
can create
controlled by
one.
them, sir. I don't care if you got a black face fronting it. Those banks are still part of their system. We have to come. Let me make it plain. Listen, we don't need to file no paperwork to start no political party if we do it on the blockchain. We can file it through the blockchain, and people just opt in to what we already have.
Oh,
We don't have to. We don't have to do anything that deals with that with their system. We can start it on the blockchain. It can be fully funded by the blockchain. We don't have to do anything. And listen, as long as we move as a block, that is our political party. We can name it whatever we want to name it, but it don't really matter if nobody joins it. But the moment we all opt into it, the moment we all pour into it, it becomes something. It becomes what it is, and we can do it. All that filing paperwork, super PACs, all that stuff, that's what they do. That's with their fiat currency. But if we do it all through the blockchain, sir, we put the smart contracts in place so nobody can see. They can see. Let me tell you what they can do. They can join that party. Yes, they can, and they can vote you out of your own party that you started. But if you do it on the blockchain, they can't do it because not anybody can just get in, because we can put stipulations on it that we can't put out there, because they're going to say, oh, it has to be all inclusive. But on the blockchain, it doesn't have to be all inclusive. It can be exclusive.
How do we start this yesterday? How did we get this done yesterday?
That's the point I was making, Adam. That was the point I was making. See, this is something that we should have been talking about 2 years ago. Me and Too Much. How long have we been talking about this, brother?
A while, brother. A while.
Wow. This is the work that should have been done 2 years ago. So I'm gonna say this.
We didn't have the visibility. We didn't have the eyes then. That's why we got to keep.
We didn't need that. We didn't need that because most of the things that we are dealing with in today's society doesn't require that. The people that run things don't require that. They don't need all of that. Do you understand? We are the only ones that say we need all of that. Fellas, and this is to my BOK men. I think personally, as a solution, we should be following certain methods along with what Too Much is doing here on this blockchain. And we need to be the ones, the foundation and the pillars to this next system and structure that's coming into play, and allow others to decide if they're going to come in on this or not. And they have to go through that process that Too Much is talking about, if they're going to be able to get in or not, period. We have to be the ones that set in the structure and the new society and system straight. Forget everybody else, forget the BLK women, forget the other nations, forget the other countries, forget all the other we need to come together amongst ourselves like Too Much.
Hold on.
We need to figure out and align so that way we can get the system and the structure set, and then allow others to dictate when they want to make the decision to come to us, and we will be able to decide if they will make it through or not.
But
with the numbers of people we have,
the problem with that's just more gatekeeping, brother.
Yeah, with the power,
we don't want to.
As we should.
We gotta gatekeep. But we can't exclude our women. That's number one. We can't exclude our women.
No, I'm not saying exclude them. I'm saying that there's a time for them to be a part of this, to come in, and there's a time when they shouldn't. And this isn't the time for them to be coming in on this part.
Well, the women are in it. What are you talking about? We are all one. We are in this together. If this house burn, everybody going.
Yes, I understand that we are all in this together, brother. But if you keep your mouth shut and let me finish so you can get the full picture, then you would understand.
No,
right?
I don't. You don't understand what you're saying because you're the one that's.
How do you know? You don't even know me, sir. Sir, you don't know me.
You have
your
fears
emotions
right now.
Stop.
So I'm going to speak like this. You have fears right now,
emotional.
and these
Keep
fears
your
are
mouth
stopping
shut
you from moving
a
forward.
man finish
You
his
have
speech.
concerns.
Do not interrupt a man in the midst of his speech.
Hold on. Let him
this
finish,
is my point.
And then I got to say something after that. Go ahead, Baba. I'm listening.
So again, this is my point, right?
You're losing us a little bit, though, bro.
I'm not. Too much. You know exactly where I'm going. And if I'm losing some of them, that's fine. They're not supposed to be going that far anyway. Do you understand? That doesn't mean they're not a part. It just means that they're not a part of this specific area. There's certain people that's a part of certain companies that still don't have access to certain parts of the building. Does that mean they're still not working together in the building for that company? No, they just don't have access to certain parts because they do not reach the necessary requirements in order to do so. But instead of just staying in that position and understanding that, we want to keep fighting. Oh, you think you... No, it's just that certain people are built and born to be in certain positions in certain areas of this corporation and building that you don't have access to. Does that mean you're still not a part of the solution? Does that mean you still don't have an important part to play? Does that mean your part is not as important as mine? No, that just means yours is different from mine, and you need to learn yours just like I need to learn mine. That is it. So whatever issues you got, that's on you, sir, not me.
brother. Number one, we're not doing anything without our women. Our women are coming with us. They've been with us. They've been down with us. And we are going to restore the matriarchy, and we're going to restore the patriarchy. And they're equally important. And they're both sides of the same coin. And we need that balance. That's what we're going to do. Okay? Number two, we
There was so
understand
much
that
of both
everybody has
sides of the coin that they traded on us, sir. We are so much both sides of the coin that they have traded on us. They have took on Zaddy, right? Zaddy is where they get their funds,
listen,
everything.
Speaking in general, that's crazy.
I'm talking about collectively, fellas. I'm talking about
brother,
collectively. I'm looking at us collectively as a
They gonna
unit.
get left
I
behind.
understand.
Anyone
I
like that
think
gonna
too
get left
much. I
behind.
think he's saying build the foundation and then bring the women along.
Thank you. That is it. What are we
Build
talking
the
about here?
foundation. You can.
Listen. I hear you, but if you go back in history, that's why you got to go back in history. If you go back in history, that's not how we did it, family. Our women
And
have
you're right.
always been strong supporters right along with us. We couldn't get anything done without our women. If
You're
you
right.
go
They
back
have
in
been
history,
they have been the major supporters of us throughout history,
if
right?
you go
And what does
back
our
in
history
history,
look
to
like
have the
when it comes to
mindset,
our
listen,
Wow.
men are builders. Men are definitely builders. And there comes a time where we don't need no distraction, and we just need to focus on building. And our women, they need to focus on something else at some time. But what we're trying to build right now, we're gonna need the whole collective, or it's not gonna. It's not. I'm not saying it won't be built. It just will be partially built. And we don't want to we don't want to start a house and not be able to complete it. Listen, we're gonna have descending views, but we're gonna have a code. Again, that's why the code is important. The moment you get outside the code, we know we can't listen to you. We know, all right, well, you outside the code. So, but if the code is the code, if the code is strong, if the code is secure, and we all abide by the code, then nobody can get off track.
Okay,
Everybody,
the
all
code
hands
that
is
we
on
agreed
deck,
on
and
too
all
much.
hands is working and helping and building.
Absolutely. What's the code we all agreed on too much? Is there even a code that we agreed on yet as a collective, both men and women? Be okay?
That stuff we
So,
do in private, I
so,
believe. We
so, so
just
let
put
me,
the
so let me,
Hold
so,
on,
so,
boots
so
hold
let
in
me
on,
out for
tell you
each
what
hold
we
on,
brother.
do.
hold on. Before
Go ahead.
everybody jump down my
I've been
throat.
listening the whole
Let me ask
time,
you
never
this:
interrupted
What's the
nobody.
code? What's our code amongst each other as BLK men that we're still following? Before we get to a code into our race, what is our code amongst BLK men that we're following?
I got
That's
you.
holding up our structure together.
I
Tell
got
me.
you.
We don't
I
have
got
one, brother.
you. No, we do. That's why
Exactly.
I said. That's why I said a lot
Exactly.
of us we need to focus. We need to go to the grassroots, and where we create these things. See, again, if you click the link in my bio, you understand that we already
Hold
have
on too
a
much.
treaty
Do we have
amongst
a
Black
code?
Americans.
Do we have a code amongst BLK men that we're upholding right now in today's society, collectively, not individually in our own
Not not
components and
not
compartments? I
not
mean,
yet.
like how the BLK women,
I hear
they
you.
stand behind this girl code, the Black
So
Girl
hold on, hold
March,
on, hold on,
and
hold on, hold
all
on,
these other
hold on.
things.
I got you, but hold on. Let me say this: the brotherhood has never fallen. The brotherhood has always been intact. Now, whether we abide by something, now do we have some perpetrators? Yeah, we do. But the brotherhood has always been given the game to brothers. It's always, and we've always been given the solid game to brothers. So
Okay,
that's
so
always been intact, brother. We've never lost that. That's one thing I can say as men and black men, we've never lost that brotherhood. That brotherhood always
how
been
when we're
intact.
taking each other out on a daily basis?
No, that's 16-70% of the population, so that's not all of us.
I I understand that, sir, but the
I come from a
exception
strong
don't make the
black
rule.
man, and my uncles. You know,
Too
there
much, too
are
much,
people
too much, too
with
much, too
that
much. You're
dynamic. See,
missing what I'm
Correct.
saying. You're missing what
When
I'm
we
saying.
look at each other on the street, we're not trying to jump down each other's throat. That's only a small population.
No, that's a majority of our population that's trying to jump down each other's throat. It's a small population of you, right? It's a small population of people like you, right? That see each other as brothers and, you know, hey, brother, peace, this, then the third. But most of us,
I beg to differ, brother. Because listen, every state, every hood I go to, I get shown love, brother.
yes, brother, that's you, sir. But not all of us moving like that out here. Right? You're an exception. I agree. You can do that. I can do that. I'm in another country right now by myself, and I'm making good connections with people, not getting in no trouble. You know how many people can come out here and do that? Not too many. But that doesn't mean that, oh, we're all like that. No. We are in a real bind, brother. We don't even know ourselves. We are quick to unalive one of our own before we unalive the person who's putting us in this position.
That's true. I don't believe that, brother.
Brother, we have been doing it throughout.
We're not in the 80s and the 90s anymore.
We've been doing it up until this point.
I'm out of that.
Okay, so you're telling me that our young black brothers aren't taking each other out through gang violence, et cetera, and haven't been doing that.
I'm saying that's a small isolated pop. That's a small group, sir. That's not
a mindset that we have been indoctrinated with to unalive and destroy the things that are supposed to be processed.
Brother, we done came a long way, man. One thing I've seen, and I have to recognize.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Can I say something?
It would not be here if that wasn't the case.
I want to answer to 𝗣𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁 what he's saying. I don't understand what he's talking about. I mean, that was a model plan that the government did, and it worked.
But he's saying that it's not valid and it didn't work. That's what he's saying.
I mean, what he's saying is a small population in certain cities and towns doing it. Not.
Have you seen They Clone Tyrone? If you've seen the movie They Clone Tyrone, you understand. If you really see it for what it is, and the hidden messages and the Easter eggs in that movie They Clone Tyrone, you understand that a lot of, listen, we understand that a lot of stuff that's going on in the black community is not really black Americans participating in it. I actually gotta give it up to the immigrants, the black immigrants who cosplay as us, who are doing most of that destruction under our name, and we just get the credit, family. We just get the credit for that.
Well, I don't know how we get the credit for that. Most of these situations that I see out here is us, and we're the ones that's getting locked up because of our ignorance of not being responsible for ourselves, our trauma, our issues, our history, our identity. Not these other nations, not these other races, not these other countries, none of them, right? They're told to stay away from us before they come here. So I don't see how they're the issue here. We are our own issue. The Frankenstein syndrome, right? You build your own destruction. That's what we have been doing century after
Compton ain't like it used to be. Whoever wrote that note, I'm in California.
I agree. It's not the same as it used to be. And it's not going to be.
Compton is gentrified a little bit. I see white people jogging in Compton. What are you talking about?
What I'm saying,
I have a question. But too much. Can I ask you this? And I kind of agree with you too, Baba. When did black people start unaliving each other at this rate? Even though it's a small population. We didn't always be like this. We wouldn't like this. We wouldn't like this coming out of slavery.
You gotta understand.
We weren't.
We would not.
No, we weren't.
It was a plot by the CIA. They got people fighting over drugs and money.
We really should have been trying to got more.
So too much. He got a point. Even though it's a small population, and I agree with you, but we hasn't always been like this. This is something that's been set up.
You see these people behind me? This is who we are, and this is who we still are.
Yes, majority, yes.
That's not who we still are. That's who we can be, but that's not who we are. We have to stop playing this delusion. This is not who we are. Their background, sir, that's not who we are. We're not doing that. We are not those people. Do you see how that woman is dressed? Do you see how that man is dressed? Do you see the mentality that he had there? That is not who we are, brother. Come on, man. That's who we can be, and we could be stronger than that. Yes. Absolutely. We can be so much better than our ancestors because they set the tone for us. But we decided to destroy all of that, sir. We decided that forget them. I'm going to do what I want.
COINTELPRO. That's what happened to us, brother. That's what happened to us. COINTELPRO happened to us.
I understand that, sir. But what I'm saying too much is that we have been so saturated in it that we don't. It's on autopilot now. Like it's muscle memory now, right? That we don't even see when we in this COINTELPRO, Willie Lynch, et cetera, et cetera. Like we just not, it's not registering for us. And we trying to use this stuff
in order to get ourselves out. We've been saturated in this stuff for so long, we are sitting here saying that we're not the reasons why we're in this position. We'll wait until they got their teeth sunken in our jugular and we're leaking.
Families are in the middle class or rich.
Oh, but there is no middle class, sir. They don't write that out. They have been continuing on with their plans. They have been strategically still moving and continuing plans that they have built 20, 30 years ago that they're now putting in place today.
20, 30 years, you mean 200, 300, 400 years. They've been
exactly. What are we doing? But we're trying to now put our plans together now, in a year, 2 years, 3 months, 6 months, and think that this is going to come on, man. This is
hey, Bob, I kind of interrupt you for a second. You see, y'all, when you talk about stuff like this, it makes me start thinking about like the spiritual world of it, because if you like look around the U.S. and you see all this weather going on, can anybody guess the death toll of the white people that been getting killed from these weather events? I want to say within the last 3 months. We're talking about Hurricane Helene, and then we're talking about other hurricanes coming right behind it, tornadoes every day. Is anybody keeping up the count of this stuff?
No.
So, but to me answer that question, hold on. For me to answer your question, basically what I'm saying is, no matter how bad the odds is, I'm the type like I'm either gonna go in and die or I ain't coming out. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm with you.
Plenty of brothers
with that attitude. How many of us came in with that attitude?
I understand how you feel, but I know exactly what you're talking about. But at the same time, I'm that type that like I don't care what you claim. You're gonna be down with the code or you ain't. You're gonna be down with it or you're not, you know?
Absolutely.
There's gonna be a day we do get together.
Quick, everybody. Let me let Monique say something. She's the moderator. Go ahead, Monique.
I have a question for you, Baba. I know you're kind of this part of the conversation. You are not addressing me because I am a woman, but I have a question for you. Is the code the one that do you already have the code, or is it something you're saying we need to build right now? Hello?
Bob, I think she's talking to you, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I was off mute. What I'm saying is I have some points of codes we can use, right, and construct with other intelligent minds once we have that tank, right? But what I'm saying is that we want to talk about this code that we're supposed to be following and that we have been following that never existed, right? And if there is a code, I've never heard of it, right? So how tight are we in this code, like the 𝗣𝗊𝗵𝗵𝘁𝘀 women are in their sisterhood, right? I don't have to know the other lady way down in another city, but I know the black 𝗣𝗊𝗵𝗵𝘁𝘀 women know that womanhood code, right? We don't have that, right?
We did.
Now,
Wait, I'm gonna just stop. We did have a code in the 60s and 70s that we allowed others to come and infiltrate the code and disrupt.
And that's my point. That's my point.
But
you
now,
understand?
but
That's
now
my point.
our
code is still
Let me answer. Can I answer her question real quick before we jump into the other stuff? I do have certain points of code that I've spoken with Too Much about that we have both agreed on, and we still will be discussing and moving forward on. However, it takes more collective intellectual minds in order to advance certain codes so that way it can be more filtered, and the filtration process will take more out of those. So that way the people that come in, we know for sure are those of us and not those who just coming in to take out, right? But again, most of us, we have a hard time identifying those who will be that problem so we can understand the filtration process. Instead, we want to alleviate ourselves from dealing with those people because we're trying to move on to a solution. No, you have to figure out what type of people you're dealing with so you can have a filtration process so that way they can't infiltrate when it starts to get hot and heavy, right? But the moment you decide, look, we can't focus on them, we just got to focus on us, and the ones that come together, you will never be able to see those who are coming. That's why MLK got unalive. That's why Malcolm X got unalive. That's why Marcus Garvey got unalive. And that's why Jesus got unalive. That's why we don't get ourselves. We're not following and watching ourselves. Everybody else is. Every other nation watch us. Every other nation study us. Everybody do it but us. Right? And then we want to come in these positions when they got their teeth sinking in our jugular, leaking blood down our necks and down our arms and our chest. Now we want to talk about how to, every time. We do it every time. And nobody wants to see that. And I'm trying to get the right people to do that.
But haven't we learned those lessons, though? Haven't we learned those lessons?
Look at the results now. We have not learned. You see what's going on? We have not learned.
That's not true, brother. Let me put it to you
Jesus.
like this. I
What's the
understand
difference
what
from
you were
Jesus
saying.
to Malcolm? What's the difference between Jesus
I
and Martin? What's the difference between Jesus and Marcus Garvey? What's the difference between Jesus and whoever else? What's his name that just came
they
out
all
online and
went
got
down without a
unalived?
fight. They all went down violently.
And
Every last one of them went
and they
down
all were
violently.
solid leaders who took and had the intellect in order to move our nation forward. And
And they
yet,
were
what
eliminated
happened?
from the population by the powers that be. The
With
powers
who?
that be are going to be what they are. They are
With
always
who?
going to try and take out their opposition.
With who?
While I understand that you do not see us all as being on code, the idea for me being on code is when I see my brother, I'm going to treat him with honor. When I walk down the street, I'm going to walk with dignity. When I see my sisters, I'm going to treat them with the character and respect that they deserve. See, when they see us as men doing that, it changes everything.
It hasn't.
And it is working we are moving in that direction. Do we have them all? Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you the truth. Do we want them all? Absolutely not.
Brother, I think we should be
See,
stopping.
to take it to a scriptural term, straight is the gate and narrow is the way. That means a lot of cats ain't gonna get it.
Thank you.
Okay?
Which is why
It
we
is
should be
not our
stopping.
job or our position to move those who are not on code. See what they're doing, they're running left and we're running right. And you want us to turn around, go back and get them so they can catch up to where we were 45 minutes ago. That's not how it's gonna work. If you're going
Who
in the
said
wrong
that? I
direction, you
didn't
can
say
stay in the
that.
wrong direction.
Are you talking about me? I didn't say that.
No, not
Oh,
you. I'm
okay.
just saying, using it as an example, brother. Just an example.
Oh,
Okay?
we do
See,
that.
you can
Though.
get anything done and accomplished if you have a small, dedicated group. What you
Facts.
can't get done, what you cannot do, is get the whole collective moving in one army-like step.
Facts.
There's been no nation on the planet that we can say is doing that.
Man, all we need is 300. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, we just need a remnant. And when you got a remnant moving on code, guess what's going to happen? Other people are going to latch on. You're right. Our people have to see it. But how are they going to see it if a remnant don't show it to them?
And I'm with you. See, I think y'all believe I'm going against y'all, and I'm not. I'm just coming from a
No,
different
you're just kind of
direction.
so in doubt. That's all. You're not going against it. You just, I know what you're saying though.
I'm
He's
just coming from.
disheartened.
Let me make.
He's disheartened by the
Hold on,
state of our
fire has
people.
passion,
Hold
bro.
on, hold
You
on,
gotta
hold
have
on, hold
fire in
on.
that
I'm just coming
passion.
from a different. I'm just coming from a different. Too much already know. I'm coming from a different direction, right? All I'm saying is that remnant. We're too busy trying to focus on the bigger picture instead of focus on us as remnants, right? Like too much. We already know, right? So you already know we bring in time. We do that. Right now, I'm trying to put myself in a position where this is not even going to be happening no more. Like coming on a platform and doing this is going to have to stop. It's going to have to stop. We can't be doing this on this platform.
Yeah, but I think
What
the
is
host is
this that you see that we're doing, brother?
You know how we're conducting our matters here on this platform. You see how we're having these discussions and conversing about this stuff on this. It's going to have to
yeah,
stop. It's going to have to be more personal,
but
right?
but you didn't know that
Please let me
the host
finish, man. Let me
the
finish,
host is
please.
a passport, bro. He married a Kenyan woman. He doesn't even like
Brother,
FBA
What does that
women.
have to do with
please, you're
anything,
going
brother?
way off the. Please, see, this is what I'm talking about. And this is why it
Oh
needs to
my
be private,
God,
right? It needs to
Jesus
be
Christ.
personal. It needs
Why
to be
don't you marry
personal.
FBA women? Is that
Away
because they
from
wear wigs and get nose jobs?
What difference does who he loves matter, sir?
Jesus Christ.
and this is
I
taken
get
away from the
haters
focus,
everywhere I
bro.
go, man. Everywhere I go, I get a hater. It's
So
all
again,
good. It's all good.
it needs to be done in private so we don't have to worry about these things. We cannot be on
We
these
can't do it in
public
private, brother. They have destroyed every potential private act and
That's
or
like I'm
force that
trying
we've
to tell
attempted to get
people.
into.
They
You
dominated
remember the MOVE
all.
movement?
We have allowed them to dominate all areas of activity to the point where now we just gotta say, "Come get me,"
You're missing what I'm saying.
because
I'm not talking
I
Brother,
about
ain't
a
doing it.
we
private
know
Hold on,
exactly what you're
organization.
saying.
until hold
Human
on
rights.
until
You know
we
what I'm
build
saying?
it. Listen, until we build the platform and we own the platform and we control the platform, nothing's ever going to change. We have to talk here because guess where our people are at? Our people are on here.
That's because we don't actually have a location where we can go.
Exactly. So what some of us, and what I'm working on, and when anybody who wants to join me, we got to build a platform on the freaking blockchain. The language is already being developed, people. The moment the language is developed, it's game over. And all
you
we gotta do
developing the
is be
language?
smart enough. All we gotta do is be smart enough to go to the platform. You want to be on a platform where TikTok, where Twitter, where YouTube, nobody can censor you. That's the blockchain. You want to be on a platform where you as a content creator own your work and nobody can get a piece of it. The middleman's out of it. That's the blockchain. You want to be on a platform where no government agency or no system can silence you or cut you off. That's the blockchain. But we gotta build it. If we don't build it, all this is, I get what you're saying. We need to be what platform can we go to right now, or we can talk? Where are we gonna start meeting in the tunnel? Where we gonna go into a cliff and start having our meetings at a cliff and make sure there's no cell phones on and nothing's gonna be, are we gonna dig a tunnel underground and go start listen, man, they got infrared. I'm just telling you, at right now, there's no
Brother, they wouldn't let us gather in groups of 5 without being harassed. You think they gonna let us collectively go somewhere and congregate and they're not going to put up drones?
With the FBA coin, because then we can put money into building what we need. We need to build our infrastructure on the blockchain. All this other stuff, eminent. Listen, when we do a contract, we need to make sure it's a smart contract. A smart contract trumps a regular contract, because regular contracts can be forged, it can be changed, it can be screwed around with, but a smart contract cannot. Once you create it, it's set in stone. We need to build on rock, not on sand, people. That's the only way.
Let me interject this right quick while we got this room this big. I want the family to not forget the new black media. Professor Black Truth, the Black Authority, 𝗤𝗏 Nasheed, Vicky Dillard, 𝗖cie Cabrera, Afro Elite, Philip Scott, and a host of other young brothers and sisters are out here making sure that we are getting on code. And one more name I should have mentioned, but I forgot, was Too Much Moxie. You're trying to get your people to find that narrow path. This is how it gets done. This is how we find that thing. I'll stop it right there, y'all.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna mute real quick. There is another app that is out there. I believe it's called Blackshare, and it's supposed to be, like this great thing. You can do all these, the sharing. You can find jobs, do marketplace type stuff, all that over there. I have not checked it out, so I don't know for sure, but I believe that's the name of it. And as far as coming here to get other people, I mean, have you not ever been at a party and got a flyer for a whole nother party down the block somewhere? You go to where the people are to get the people to come to your place. That's what we're doing here. We're not giving all of the ABCs out here. We're just, hey, this is going on. Check us out. And I don't see anything wrong with that. And involving and not excluding anyone. And like I said, behind every strong man, there's a strong woman. And let her be a black woman. Oh my goodness. Y'all know what's up. I already know y'all brothers know what's up. I already know.
That's what it is, man. Listen, man. Listen. We need our women on code. We need our men on code, and we need to come together as a group on code, as a people, as a lineage on code. The only thing that leads us and guides us is the code. Because the moment one of us sticks our necks out and say, I'm the leader of all FBAs, guess what's coming for that person? And you can't stop it. You can't protect that person. When the government wants you, they just gonna get you. But here's what they can't do. They can't get all of us. Not if we're on code. Not if we're on code.
Not if they don't even know who the direct leader is either.
Exactly. The moment you go out there and stick your neck out and say you the leader and see what happens. Go ahead.
And then for a political party, ain't like we're talking about nothing illegal. I mean, we're just talking
Yeah, I
about
mean,
basic human rights.
everything we're doing. Listen, the reason why we have the
Fred wasn't
moral
talking
authority,
about nothing illegal.
I know. I'm just
the
saying.
reason why we have the moral authority, the
Like, we
reason
don't
why
have to hide.
we
You know
have
what I'm
the
saying?
moral compass here is because everything we're doing is from a place of righteousness. We
Exactly.
cannot be seen as agitators. We cannot be seen as ops. We cannot be seen as someone who wants to tear down and destroy because all we're doing is building. You can't stop a people from building and making themselves improve and become better. And
And
that's
protecting
all we're doing.
ourselves.
And
We're gonna
protect
build more
ourselves.
Black Wall Streets, and we're gonna protect them.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's all we're doing is protecting ourselves. When we go do something, we're gonna make sure someone can't take it from us. And everybody has the right to do that. Everybody.
Good morning, everybody. I
Good
just wanted to
morning,
say I
sister.
appreciated your conversation. I think that you're talking about a lot of important things, and they all have to come together and, like you say, work on one accord under our guidance, our direction. And, the time of having a singular leader, that's past, and I believe innovation is always the way forward. It's called guerrilla warfare. That's when you jump out and do something unexpected. And that's how you get over. So I think that all those ideas are very important. And one of my basic ideas is about educating the youth. I think we need to educate our own youth. Even though they go to these public schools, we need to be um, tutoring them at night and on the weekends and getting them up to the proper level and giving them the proper praise and a support and upliftment that they need. And one of my ideas was that I called it the Underground Railroad of Education. And the way that would work is that you would be able to go to different people's homes on the weekend and get an hour or 2 hours of tutoring for your kids, some fun time. You sign up and then that way there's not one target against, once they see we're getting educated, they going to come try to break down our little school, whatever it is. And so that was one of my ideas, like an underground school railroad where you just go to different neighborhood family homes and get that education, get that tutoring, and then we would get our curriculum like from online. We'd have one curriculum we go to, and we would bring that out and make sure that our kids was being taught and just praised and supported and retaught the concepts on the weekend amongst their peers and everything like that. And just ideas like that. And then another idea I had, which I know is going to be on you guys' platform, is what to do when they come with their attacks, right? Because during the 80s, folks was doing well and we was coming up. And then what we get, the drug wars, and we didn't know what to do when that hit. And it took a long time to get out of that. And so when the attacks come, we need to be able to say, how we're going to protect ourselves against those attacks, and getting our men in jail like that, 1 out of 4, that's so disgusting. What can we do about that? And also, I know a lot of people talking about funding and everything, and funding is very important, but also money's not going to save everything. So we definitely got to innovate past the monetary world to be successful, And also, I just wanted to mention one more thing. Dang, it just slipped my mind, but it had to do with money. Wait. Well, anyway,
While you
those are some
gather
of
your
my
thoughts on
ideas,
that,
though, and
I
I hope
want
I
to.
can connect with you guys on your platform, and I hope that we can come together and find our center. Oh, I was going to bring up religion. Now, religion, we're going to have to talk honestly about religion. Okay, there's a reason why there's a separation of church and state, and we need to understand that these religious ideas, they're not from our people. These are ideas that are brought along to cause divisions, to do a lot of things and to control. So we have to understand that, and we can't be fighting each other over these religious ideals. Okay, we need to stick with humanity ideals, so because that'll gonna keep us straight every time. Everybody deserves food, clothing, and shelter, and so on and so forth, jobs and education. So don't get your religion twisted up in it and start pointing the finger. Who's this? Who's that? Who's evil? Who's right? Who's righteous? Okay, You know, we got to make sure we really capture that, and we do have to deal with the religious aspect of it, because if we get everything come together and they bring in that religion, that's going to divide it and break it down again. So we have to definitely be on track for that. So those are just some of my ideas, folks.
One thing about the religion thing I want to say, without God, our mission will not be complete. Without God, we will not get to that end of that mission.
I didn't say without God, sir. I just
I
said
know.
watch out for religion. It's
Yeah,
called
that's what I'm
religion,
saying.
and it's called dogma. So those are some things that are real that people don't want to address. But anyway, it's going to need to be addressed. Nobody's going anywhere without God, because you couldn't have got here without God. So it ain't no
Can I come
going
in?
without God. But it can be going without division, without power structures trying to break you
Hold on,
down.
ma'am. When the host is talking, just calm down. Be respectful just for a second. Okay, I
That's
gotta get
fine, sir.
no problem. I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Okay, I hear what you're saying. Religion and God is not the same thing. Okay, and I think people are coming out of the witchcraft and the propaganda that's behind that. Okay, but let me say this. I want to mention this, and then I'll let Monique go, and then I'll let Wiley for you go.
Voila.
Voila. Okay. I'll let you guys go. But I want to say this. Listen, we have got, the moment you send your kids to public schools, they're being brainwashed. They're under attack. They're being indoctrinated. And you as the parent have to understand that if you don't learn how to debrief your kids when they come back from school, that is the problem. If you don't take the time out to actually raise your kids instead of letting the school system deal with your kids, that is the problem. I'm all for homeschooling. Homeschooling does not make your kids antisocial. It actually makes their social stronger. Because the people that I've seen that homeschool their kids, those kids give firm handshakes. Those kids are well mannered. Those kids look at you in the eyes. Those kids can have adult conversations. Those kids are actually being prepared for the next level. It's your kids that when you send them to public school that don't have no home training, that don't know how to act, that are unruly. So you as parents, you guys have to deal with that. You better debrief your kids. You better find out what they're teaching them at school, and you better re-educate them yourself. Because if you don't, I always say, you send your kids to school, what are they coming back with? An attitude. That's all. That's all they're going to get. Because the school is teaching them that they know more than you. The school is teaching them that you're old, you don't know nothing, and this new knowledge, new information is everything. I remember when my dad was telling me, hey man, we got Cherokee, we got Blackfoot, we this. And I went to school and they taught me I was an African. That's what happens. They taught me African American studies. They told me I was an African American. That's what happens when you send your kids to school and you don't have influence over your children, but the school and the peers have influence over them and not you. If you don't homeschool your kids, they're not going to get what you want them to really have, unless you do things to counteract it, like debriefing your children. So I just want to add that in there. Listen, man, y'all got to know that propaganda and witchcraft is real. Y'all got to know that spells are real. You send your kids to school and they putting spells on them, and that's what's happening.
Too much. I just wanted to say something about the religion thing. Nick Kenny was saying, what I was trying to tell her is that I feel as we as SBAs, we have to abandon Christianity. I believe that's one.
Because it's not that Christian. Listen, that's not our God. That's not our Most High. Now, listen, this what you have to do is you have to separate the Bible from the Scriptures. The Scriptures are true, but the Bible is false.
Yeah,
the Bible
parts they
is
took out and put in.
The Bible is what man put together. They just threw a bunch of scriptures in there, and then they reinterpret it the way they want to interpret it, and they put that religion, that dogma on it, and they got you following that. But
that's the Western neo-colonial religious take and view.
The
that's why I
That's what
say
scriptures
that
that.
are the
is.
scriptures.
And
You can't
that's why I
change the
believe it.
scriptures, but you can doctor up that Bible. So what
Right.
I'm saying is, accept God. If you understand who Melchizedek was, or Melchizedek, however you want to pronounce his name, we need to be like Melchizedek, the priest of the Most High God. That's who our God is. That's always been our God.
Right, and that's what I believe too. If you're not going to be real religious, at least just believe in God by himself, because that's part of the foundation of a brotherhood. To all have the same belief and go by the same ethics and codes and stuff. That's what will bring us together. We have to have the
Righteousness is
moral.
righteousness. Listen,
Right.
righteousness is nothing earned. You're born, believe it or not, you're born into righteousness. Your bloodline makes you righteous. You being a foundational Black American, whether you're good, bad, messed up, weird, you're righteous. And your action should reflect righteousness. But you're born into this thing, man. We
Right.
are the moral
You got
compass.
misdirected into, for lack of a better way, ratchetness, and that's on
Listen,
both
y'all,
sides.
I'm not ashamed or afraid to say I'm righteous. I'm a righteous brother. I'm gonna enact and do righteousness on this earth. That's what I was put here to do. That's what you were put here to do. Now, whether you do it all the time or not, listen, I am a righteous brother, and I'm going to act righteous, and I'm going to be righteous at all times.
And to
Nobody's going to get me off my square.
add to that, I'm gonna encourage everybody to take some time, be quiet, and listen for the God that's in you. He said, "You are, I am Him, and He is I." So there you go. God is in you. But I wanted to say to Nikki, I believe you. I feel deep within my soul, your idea about homeschooling in a community is a fantastic idea, and I will jump on board with that so fast. Like you couldn't, my head was spinning. I'm so in for that. So I applaud that idea.
Screen all the people. Listen, if you're gonna do the homeschooling thing, make sure you screen these people. Make sure you have somebody in that home that you trust that's gonna watch over and protect those kids, because these are our children. Don't just send anybody any old person's house because they Black or they foundational. You find out who they are, what they about. You do your due diligence, and you protect your kids at all times. I would prefer that you do it because they're your kids.
Right. I mean, I absolutely, no, I agree 100% with that. But that's the discernment that we have to have in that communal.
Don't let nothing happen to your baby. You protect your kids.
Yeah, but that discernment is what we have to have across the board in all areas of the school. So when he was talking about the infiltration that's been happening or has happened, because people weren't using their discernment, they allowed other people to make those decisions for them, and they got put in. But some of them people knew exactly what was going to happen because they know the God that's in them, and they know that their assignment was already done. So they allowed. Nothing happens to you that you don't allow.
Right. Let me let Wiley speak. Go ahead, Wiley.
I'm totally agree with everything that you guys are saying is on point. What I would also like to add to what Nikki said about homeschooling your child at home is those that cannot or unable to do so, do detox them when they come home. That is very important to do. It's time now for us to get documents or any type of written proof of our history, not what we were taught, your genealogy and everything. So your children would know their family line from the genealogy. You understand what I'm saying? And everything that is about us as being great in this world as a people. I have plenty of documents. I have set my grandson down and say, go give me that little suitcase over there. I got some stuff to show you. It was full of information. And he's like, what, 16, 17? I said, I'm telling you this now because you're at the age now where you're getting ready to go outside that door soon, in the next few years, to try to grab life for yourself, to become a contributor to society. But you also got to arm yourself with armor, knowing who you are. Because if you don't, then someone else is going to control who you are and tell you who you are. So know it for yourself within yourself. And it starts here. Y'all guys are speaking about religion. And I agree with what Dr. No Job said about the scripture and the Bible, the meaning between the both of them. Because there are hints and messages in there to tell you common life, okay? The kingdom is at hands, or is at your hands. Okay, it's not all in the sky somewhere and all this other stuff.
That's fact.
You understand what I'm saying? And he tells you it's the God within you. I mean, you and me. Okay? So know that you have the power to bring things about yourself. Okay? So you got to watch out for that insertion of man document and the witchcraft and spells, because it's full of it, that they insert in there. When it was translated many times over and over again. And the wicked ones, the liars of this world, was present. So we got to know how to separate. They say you separate the wheat from the tares and all that stuff like that, and form words, the lies from what you know is true. He said, I will plant it in their hearts and in their mind. It's in us. We know what is right and what is not. And I'm not going to go on that because I'm not big religion or anything. Because if you start asking me when you've been in church or when you read or this and that, I haven't. It's just plain common sense to is a spiritual communication going on. That we
So
are
let me
connected
say
with.
this. Let me say this real quick. Do you guys know? And there's nothing wrong with gathering together amongst the saints. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to understand that the way you're looking at church is you're looking at the business side. You're not looking at the spiritual side. What they're giving you is the business side, and you're accepting that as the spiritual side. The real way you're supposed to congregate, and I've seen it. Not too many people have seen it, but I've seen it. When you show up to church or to the congregation, because you are the church, when you show up to the congregation, there's supposed to be a pastor, but there's not supposed to be a preacher, because a preacher is anyone who has a word. You're not supposed to know who's going to preach when you gather. You're supposed to sit there, you're supposed to praise and worship, and then anybody, it could be a child, can stand up and have a word, and that becomes a sermon, people. Did you know that? I've seen it. And the pastor's job is not necessarily to preach every single Sunday. The pastor's job is to confirm the word as true or false. You guys going to sit down to these pastors, these bishops, these so-called, they don't even know what a bishop is supposed to be over. They're overseers. They're not necessarily preachers, because anybody can preach. They're overseers of the congregation, and they confirm the pastor. The pastor confirms the congregation. And it's not supposed to be one person, one leader. You're not supposed to be donating. You're not even supposed to ask for an offering. There's supposed to be a lockbox that everybody knows, because it's in their culture to give to the needs of the saints. And that money is not used for no building fund or none of it. It's for the needs of the people. That's all it is. And then if you're running any different, you're running a business. And you're paying for your pastor's plane, and you're paying for your pastor's house. That's not supposed to be. The pastor should have a job. His job is not to receive offerings from you. That's the way it's supposed to be ran, family. You've been hoodwinked.
Led astray.
I just like to say one more thing. Oh, I'm sorry, you're still talking.
Go ahead, Wanda, what are you saying?
I just got to say one more thing that I'm starting to notice. Those people, as everybody call them now, tethers, they do not like that word you have up there called Negro. Because I'm finding that they're having a hard time trying to connect themselves to it, like they like to connect themselves to African American or Black Americans. So I'm noticing someone else I was on their live brought it to my attention. I was like, So I started looking out for it. And they said, if you notice, it would never even come out their mouth. The Negroes, anything pertaining to us. So I'm like, why do they don't want to try to adopt that, but they put so much energy adopting African American or now claiming Black American, but they don't like FBA. No, 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 don't you dare. Don't you dare. It's the end of the world. Don't you dare say FBA. Don't you dare say Negro. So I'm like, okay, I can understand why they think they feel that way, because FBA, I'm trying to get ready. I'm talking. FBA God, Black American, how can I say, gatekeep, got Black American coaches and what we stand for. We're not letting nobody in that gate. We're not having it, period, point blank. Recognize it, give credit to where credit is due. Don't try to bling yourself in, and don't try to take it. You're gonna have a problem. FBA ain't gonna having that. I can understand, and that's really
We getting the money now.
right.
We doing like Burkina Faso. We going for the money now.
Right, and they all starting. Yeah, we're starting to
Well,
get
Burkina
the money
Faso
and
doing
put the
like
change
that.
into our hands, back into our own hands. Because ever since that Essence thing happened, okay, the white tee owned it. Fine, he got a right to sell to who he wants. We made it what it is. So what they're realizing that we are a type of people that evolves and interchange. We have plenty of events and can create plenty of events. We're not giving a dime to those people. Period. We're no longer going to start attending. Just the little
Essence is
pan-African.
done. It's a wrap because we're the only ones that give that energy. Essence is
Right.
over with. It's done. Another thing we're doing, family, is we're checking that other box. We're abandoning Black and African American. We're abandoning those two words, and we're going to utilize the other box to get us to the next level. When you get to
Did you
that
know?
other box, you check it and you write in foundational Black American. If you don't like foundational Black American, you write in Freedman. If you have a problem with Freedman, you write in copper colored, whatever. But you're going to utilize that other box.
But now on.
And we're gonna force the census to count us as this. We're gonna become the other.
It's getting the attention. I just want to say this real quick. It's getting the attention now because they have posted in the Time magazine. It has reached to the Time magazine that we are sick and tired of being sick of that African American term. Because everybody and their mama is starting to check that box. They had Korean people starting to check it and everything.
Mama, what that dude, 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗀 Momdani or whatever his name is. You seen that Indian guy born in Uganda who's trying to say he's African American now?
Yes, sir.
You can't have
That's
that.
the boy who got the scholarship, right? Or went in and tried to get the. Yeah.
No, he's the one running for mayor in New York. He's the one running for mayor in New York City right now. 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗀 Mundani or whatever his name. Y'all look him up, man. This is an Indian dude who claims he's African American because he was born in Uganda. We cannot no longer have that, family. So if they want to co-opt African American, let them have it.
Exactly.
It describes them.
Right. Now, that's true. He is technically an African American.
He's an African in America.
Right. So he ain't a lie. He's telling the truth.
We got to get that moved off of our ancestors' creation and invention. A lot of them labeled that on there, African American.
Delineation is the word, sister. Delineation is the word. When they hear that one right there, it's like putting your flag in the sand and saying, no more. You're not crossing this line. No more.
Right. And I love our flag.
Abandoning the Democratic Party because they no longer serve us. Anything that doesn't serve us, we get rid of. If you're not serving us, we don't use you anymore. Essence, we don't use you anymore because of BET, we don't use you anymore because you do no longer serve us. Remember that word.
They serve their advertisers more than they serve their constituents.
Get rid of it. We don't use it anymore. African American does not serve us. Just being Black or Black American does not serve us. But what serves us is strong words that binds our lineage and let people know who you're talking about, who we are. Foundational Black American, the term freedmen. If you want to go back to the old school American term, copper colored races, You cannot confuse that. You know exactly who we're talking about. We're not talking about the red natives. We're not checking that indigenous red native box because we don't want to give them no shine. Add to their numbers when they're not, they're 4 million in them. We're not gonna add to their numbers, but we're gonna build up that other box and force the census to add this little foundational Black American box for us to check.
Right.
We're gonna force them to do that.
That part.
I really like that too, because that was a big issue for me. I know during the 70s, it was a big conversation about what that blacks were American, the 60s and 70s, of course. And ultimately, somebody announced we were going to be African American. And that was really a step back because we were going for being called American straight up with nothing else, with all rights and responsibilities. We want everything. And that's what the conversation was about. But you know how they always, cut us down, shut us down. And so African American was a big part of that. We took it because we needed to unify in a certain way at the time, but it definitely went away from our ultimate goal, which was just to be American or to have the proper designation for our group. And we ended up with African American, which I didn't feel was proper. And I was only around 7 or 8 years old. But, you know right from wrong. You don't need nobody to teach you or tell you. You can see for yourself what's going on. So that's how that
It
went.
rocks your spirit, sister. You're right. It rocks your spirit, and you know instantly this ain't right.
I only wanted to mention one other thing that people may or may not know, but in our churches, which we do love them to death, when we give money to the church, they actually take part of that money and they send it to the Catholic Church, right?
Or the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
Right.
They got to get their cut. Yeah, they got to get their cut unless they're completely independent.
Unless they're completely independent. So whenever they are connected with any of the doctrines, the old doctrines and all, Southern Baptists and all that, they do still send money back to the Catholic Church. So I thought that was interesting. When I was in church business, church work, I left the church, even though I didn't leave God, but I left the institution, and I learned that. I was so shocked to hear that. I'm like, we're sending 10% of the money to them? It's so weird, but that's part of it. And that's part of the contract in order to be called a certain type of church.
Let me say this, and that's very true. I met people. See, a lot of people don't know I have a bachelor's in biblical studies, right? I was going through that route at one time. Okay, so listen, you're not unless a bishop confirms you and you're part of the so-called bloodline of Peter. If you don't get confirmed by the Vatican, you really are out here not really allowed to be preaching. You're really called a rogue church unless you're part connected. I don't care if you're Southern Baptist. I don't care if you're apostolic. Apostolic, they give money to the Vatican. Okay, a lot of these doctrines. Now you have some rogue pastors out there that'll just start their church and do their thing and their little storefront and things like that. But they're not, those little storefronts, even some of them are getting support from these bigger churches. Hold on, there's a lot of feedback. Let's do that.
Nicole.
Mic off. Can you put your mic on mute, please? I don't know why I can't put it on mute. Can any of my mods put them?
Nikki Nicole.
Yes.
You can you mute, please?
On mute, baby.
Did you want me to mute?
Please.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know why it's not letting me do it. But a lot of these churches, they are connected to the Vatican, especially when you get up to bishop. When you call yourself a bishop, unless you have a certain people that prayed over you or did whatever they're supposed to do, the ritual, you can't become a bishop. Now, you got a lot of people out here who self-proclaimed apostles, self-proclaimed bishops. But again, there's an order for this. A lot of people don't know about it. There's an order for this. A lot of people don't even understand that even the way you see the preaching style and the way you see preachers preaching, that's taught in seminary. That's taught in school. Man, when I was in school with some of these jokers, man, Man, if I listen, I was smarter than them, and they were reading from the commentary. Family, a lot of your pastors, they're reading from the commentary. They're not even coming up with inspired knowledge or inspired information from the Most High. They're just reading from commentary and they're preaching. They're preaching their sermon. A lot of times you'll go every Christmas or every Easter, and it's the same message. Why? Because they're not. Again, they have to say these things. They're these little rituals that they have to do and have to say and conduct in these churches that you guys do not know about unless you go to seminary. A lot of these people they're not even really studying. They're not even really doing what they're supposed to do, but they're buying their title. They're buying that title doctor. Whenever you see somebody who wants to be called doctor and they're in the clergy, they probably bought and paid for that license. They went to the schooling, but they weren't taking it serious. They were chasing after a title because they want to be recognized as a doctor. That's what it is. I've seen it firsthand. These people are not holier than you. They're not smarter than you. They're not more educated than you. A lot of them are dumb as rocks, if I want to be honest. But they have a certain book and that they read from and they preach from, and that makes them sound smarter than what they really are. But that's not it. They go to these pastors. They go to pastor school where they learn how to preach. Family, they learn what to preach about, how to preach, how to take an offering, how to play the music at a certain time to get you in the mood for giving. I wish I had some pastors on here that'll be honest.
It's a system.
It's
a system.
I'm right.
It's the truth, Dr. No Job, because I've met a couple of people that have went to 𝗖𝗂𝗄𝘁 college. I met a couple of people.
Yeah, I'm too much. I'm not Dr. No Job, but I'm too much.
I'm sorry.
Dr. No
Too
Job
much,
is my
I
brother,
mean.
though. He's my
Too
brother.
much.
Now.
Too much. I'm sorry.
I'm not Dr. No, but that's my brother.
Sorry. But too much of in other words, they went to 𝗖𝗂𝗄𝘁 college. And I was talking with one of 𝗖𝗂𝗄𝘁, whatever, and then a couple of them, and they was telling me, "Oh, you know so much. How you know?" I said, "Because I started to do that until they told me I have to take a hypnosis class." I said, yes. I said, there's a class. That's why certain things are repetitions. They're only allowed to speak for so much on
Family,
certain.
did y'all hear what she's saying? She had to take a hypnosis class.
I didn't take it. I got out of it. I got away from it quick because that scared me. I'm like, oh my God, I would not brainwash these people.
There's something called hermelet. I think it's called. I'm not pronouncing hermeletics. It's something like that. They're the class where they teach you how to prophesy. Family.
Yes, and speaking tongues. And the hypnosis thing, he said, was the very most important part of it. You have to learn how to have people put
I'm just
themselves
saying there's a
under.
lot of things y'all don't know because you're not behind the veil. I went back there, and that's what made me not want to become a pastor. If I'm going to be honest with you, I at one point I was going to become a pastor. And then when I saw what was going on behind the scenes, I said, I don't want no part of it. I don't want no part of this because this ain't God. Again, when you got strong belief and you know how to stand on business, you come from a family, your dad teaches you how to stand on and believe in self, you walk away from anything that looks like a gift because what looks like a gift can also be a curse. And I didn't want nothing to do with that. If it ain't the real thing, I don't want you giving me something in its place. I want the real or nothing at all. And that's always going to be me. But when I seen what was going on behind the veil, when I seen these so-called pastors that was preaching on Sundays and leaders in trying to lead the community, and I saw their lifestyle and their filthy rags and how they study and not take class. See, I'm taking class seriously. I'm taking notes. If I was taught anything you do for God, you do with excellence. You don't half step on that. But when I saw
Is there
people
any
half
other way?
stepping, when I saw people faking and shaking and pretending just so they can get the recognition, just so they can get the title, just so they can start their own church, because it wasn't that they were led to do it or God inspired them to do anything. They were doing this out of their own ambitions. And when I saw that, I thought, I don't want no part of that. I'm out of here.
Right, it's a big
I
show.
didn't want the degree. I didn't want the degree. I don't want, you know, I took it, but I really didn't want it. I didn't want them praying over me, family. Lay hands on no man suddenly. You don't know what they're trying to transfer to you or what they're trying to take from you. There's a lot
Why
of
do you
people
think when they leave that church, they always go get something to eat? They feel drained and hungry.
There's a lot of people in these
Because of that
churches. Let me tell you
spirit.
something. Witchcraft is real. There are actually people in church that you think is sister so and so or mother so and so, and they are the one praying for your downfall with a smile on their face.
And everybody got sad stories all the doggone time. And when they leave out those doors, they want to go eat. That's why they cook. Oh, you cooking Sunday dinner? Oh, you going out to Sunday for dinner? They be drained because of all of those spells and hypnosis that they use on them, and the repetition of the same scriptures over and over, and all the shows and the showcases and all that. It's all grouped in together. It pulls a lot of your energy out. Not that you're receiving anything good, but you're in there trading each other's demons and all this other stuff. Lying back and forward, worshiping that satanic God that is not of our God. It's a lot that entails it.
I went to it because I used to be in the church heavy. I went to a church, and it was one of them. It was a healing. I'll just say, if you ever seen what's that movie First not movie. What's that reality show? First Pastors or Pastors of Hollywood. Have you ever seen that? You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'd expect you. I think that's more
Yeah, I
regional.
heard of it.
But I heard of it, but seen it. No.
I'm not going to tell you which pastor it was, but I went to his church, and they had this little healing thing. You know, they do that little healing thing.
Oh yeah, no.
And I know everybody wants to believe in it, and that it's real, and that there's some truth to it. And I went to the Benny Hinn's as well. I just want y'all to understand that that's the hypnosis, and that's actually the witchcraft that Wiley is talking about. They are faking, family. Those people are in their mind, they probably believe they are healed. In their mind, they probably believe something, but they are following a trance. They're in a trance. You're in a suggestive trance. And it's we have to come up out of this that they're not. You got to understand what's emotionalism and what's spiritualism, and understand they are not the same thing.
Tap into that spiritual power,
I've been in a sermon,
not that emotional
I've been in a
power.
place where people were like, "Are you part of the chosen?" And I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think nothing of it when they said, "Are you part of the chosen?" Until I realized they were talking about the fake healing, where they stand up and act like they've been delivered. You know, there are certain people that they pay. They're getting paid, family, to deceive you, and it's part. They make movies about it. Remember that movie with Martin Lawrence?
Yep.
Not Martin Lawrence. Steve Martin.
Yeah,
Steve
yeah,
Martin.
yeah.
That's real, family. That's what when they do these little tent meetings and they show up and a lot of those people you see coming up are paid, and a lot of those people you see, you know. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people, they just, you know, in their mind they got healed, or their mind they feel better because it's part of the hypnosis and part of the trance. But when they go back to their doctor after a couple 2 weeks, you ever heard people say you can lose your healing? That's part of the scam, because they put you in a suggestive trance that make you believe or feel like you got healed. And then for the first couple weeks, you don't have no symptoms, and all of a sudden your symptoms come back because the hypnosis wore off.
Not only that, have you noticed the death rate among those faithfully Christians are very high. A lot of them have a lot of illness. A lot of illness. That's all you
Well,
hear. When you go in there, it's about complaining. Pray for me. I'm going through this. Pray for me. My back or my kidney. I'm having problems with my children and all this and all that. Pray for me. I mean, I'm like, you know what? These are the most saddest.
we got to stop being deceived, family, and we got to come in and walk in the truth and in the light. Everything within the dark has to come to the light. Let me hear from 𝗖𝗵𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗀𝗶 Pop. Go ahead, 𝗖𝗵𝗴𝗵𝗵𝘁𝗀𝗵 Pop. Go ahead. 𝗖𝗵𝗴𝗵𝗵𝗁 Pop, are you there? I'm gonna drop you down, 𝗖𝗵𝗴𝗵𝗵𝗁 Pop, and give you one last chance. All right, let's get him up out of here. Listen, y'all, I gotta close down the live anyway. I'm gonna give everybody some last words if you guys want to say anything. Starting from Monique, and then we're gonna end with Cousin. Go ahead, Monique.
I don't have a last word. Everybody continue to follow the instructions that you're getting from yourself on what you need to do. Just really pay attention to your discernment. Follow the New Black Media. Make sure you come back, get more information. There is a Discord. Download Discord, and if you inbox me, we'll get you in there because we're going to be doing things on a different level. You know, right now we're just conversing, but this is all about to change.
Yes, indeed.
Divine dating.
And I'm going to be more active on Discord, y'all. Forgive me. I'm going to be more active on Discord. I'm going to be plugging in. I'm going to be checking it. I'm going to be doing all that needs to be done. Just forgive me. Have some grace. Have some grace for me for right now. But I'm moving some things around so I can put more time into things that are needful and necessary. Go ahead, Wiley.
It's time for us to put some footwork in. Put our talk into action, because that speaks louder than words. We are us coming on here, sharing and conversing and teaching each other and learning from each other is a wonderful thing and should never stop. However, it is time for us to see each other in public, start speaking, passing our hugs, and blessing each other with our own mouth personally, so we can come together, break that barrier of blockage that's between us out here, that's a curse on us, and come together and start moving as one unit or in and out of our communities, touching our youth and everything else, flyers, speaking and whatever, because so many people are in pain and don't know which way to turn. So the only way we're going to do that is to reach them physically, not just here, because they don't always come on and listen in, and some of them just don't even pick up or go to the apps and stuff like that to get some teaching. So I'm going to end with this. Actions speak louder than words. Let's put some footwork in. Let's come together physically, have meeting spots, and let's get this thing rolling.
Nikki Nicole.
Yeah, my message is education. I think that education is so important to our community. We're always getting cut off from education. Also, I wanted to say that I agree that we got to start blessing each other in person. Hello, how you doing? And get on that one accord. And I wanted to say innovation, because like I said, we got to come in a new way that's unexpected, and we will win all the time. We will make grounds. And also I wanted to say it was education and sticking together, and those are my main points. Yeah. Let's get educated.
Okay, go ahead and close this out, brother.
Yeah, I guess I'd add and just said, remember in your daily walk, or should I say, your daily step, you walk with the authority and the power of the Most High. That is the energy. That is the energy upon which we live, breathe, by. Make sure and treat your fellow man accordingly. Show them what true honor, dignity, and class is. Humble them with every step. Shine brightly. Never diminish what you are. And one more thing. Don't forget the New Black Media. All right, family.
All right, man. Hey, everybody have a blessed day. Peace, love, reparations, and the blockchain. Everybody take care.